we're going live. You hop over now. We got like 12 minutes. Got like 12 minutes before. What up, chat? What up, chat? Hit the like button one time for them 3 points. That's right. Everybody hit the like button one time for them 3 points. Sheesh. What up? What up? What's up, Masa? How you doing?
I'm chilling like a villain, bro. I'm tired. I'm happy. It was a good weekend.
Long day at work or what?
Kind of. Tomorrow is gonna suck. All right.
You already know.
Pasito on deck.
Same, Papa.
You know the deal.
Actually, mine is a tea, but it's still delicious. What up, chat? So, fortunately, George is out again this week, but Angel should be hopping on, hopefully, maybe, or else me and Masa rocking it tonight. Sorry for the delay. I was trying to figure out this camera situation since I'm used to having 3.
Rudy's my yin to my yang, like Chicharito's tattoo, dog.
Let's go. You seen that? You seen that? I was gonna talk about that. Yeah. All right, but let's not talk about G's just yet. We're gonna talk about G's in about 11 minutes or so. Let's talk about the F1 race, though.
Yeah.
Let's talk F1 race, baby. Let's talk F1. I can chop it up with this.
I was mad, dog, because I put my alarm at 6, and for race day, I usually put it at 5:50. You know.
So yeah.
So my dumbass mid sleep hit snooze, so I don't wake up till like 6:20.
And no!
I missed the beginning of the fucking race, right? I'm so disappointed, bro. Like, fuck, man. Like
that was something.
I wanted to see that shit. I still don't know what happened. I didn't want to watch the highlights.
Oh man, can I talk about this?
Yeah, show me. Tell me.
Dog, that show was like I thought I was watching Discovery Channel, like a Predator show or something, dog. Because you see, he had me take off, and then the 2 rebels just closing in behind him, dog. And they just, I mean, it was too much, bro. It was too much. That fool, Max starts off like pointing towards Checo, right? Because Checo's in second, and in the first row, second place. So he starts off heading this direction, and immediately turns back around, takes Hammy on the left, dog. Stupid. And it was a wrap after that. He never lost first place again, except for the pit, and that was it, dude. Yeah, here's the thing, though, right? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. Oh, Max, Red Bull. Shout out to Red Bull team. Their pit was perfect, dog. Like the way the strategy they set up.
Yeah.
And at the time they took the pit, they're like, oh, and that was it, bro. He lost it, and he's like, yeah, he'll get it right back right now.
All right. So for the chat, let me answer the chat real quick. Glenn, that's the next thing we'll talk about. We'll talk about Superliga right after this. Rafael, do you guys know the restrictions for B Block this weekend? We'll talk about it a little bit in the show, but just know we're not having a tailgate. Everybody has to be in assigned seats, or they're assigned pods, not seats, standing. And we have to respect the social distancing where the pods are at. But we'll get more into it in the show, so we'll talk about it. Yeah, man. Here's the thing, though, right? I was really excited about this fucking season because, you know, Max and Checo, Hamilton and Bottas. But you know what it is, though? It's now instead of a 1-man show, it's a 2-man show. It's Max and Verstappen. Although Lewis got help.
You mean Max and Hamilton?
Oh, Max and Hamilton. Yeah, my bad. That's Max and Verstappen. That's tight.
You know what, though? It's still too early to tell. I have complete faith in Checo would be in it. You know who was not in it, though, is washed up as Bottas, bro. And
listen,
you cannot make any more excuses for that, man, bro.
No, hell no. I mean, I said it before the season started that I think Bottas doesn't have the killer instinct, and that's what kills him. He's a dope driver, but he doesn't have killer instincts to fucking really take it up there. And you know what? And in no disrespect, right? I think Checo is gonna be there. I think Bottas figures it out, and he still is in there in the conversation. I like what McLaren's at. I like what Ferrari's doing. Like Ferrari's actually like up there, is super dope. But like, there's only 2 people, 1 or 2 of people who are gonna win this fucking the championship, right? It's either
the constructor's gonna be nice because if Lando keeps doing Lando shit, you know, big ups to Lando. If Lando keeps doing Lando shit, keeping McLaren in the fucking podium. If fucking Bottas keeps finishing like fucking 8th, 6th, or whatever it is, and let's say Checo keeps crashing out because he's too fucking aggressive, then, you know, there's a possibility both McLaren cars finish like top 5, top 6.
Yeah.
And one or the other getting podium. And the same thing with Ferrari, Doug. Leclerc and Sainz is no joke either. They
I can see it.
4 and 5? Or 5 and 6?
Yeah, 4 and 5. Oh, 5 and 6. 5 and 6. Yep, 5 and 6. 5 and 6. Yeah, I mean, I'll take it. What I'm saying though, like at least for like the construction's gonna be dope. I think the races are gonna be dope. I mean, this one proved to be dope as well. The championship is what's I think, you know. I mean, and I say this to give Lewis a big ups, right? Yes, I know he got help because of the stop of the race, the red flag, and he got, you know, to recover that lap. But still, man, like from ninth to second in the amount of laps that he have, again, like he's too nice, man. He's too nice, man.
Oh, small feet, Doug. Hamilton is the real deal. Like, regardless of help or not, that many cars in that little amount of time,
and the track,
he finished second, bro. Yeah,
the track only has like only really has like two spots where you can really overtake, right? And
watching Lando play defense as much as he could.
Yeah,
that sucks though.
You know, we were chatting when that was happening, right? And big ups to Lando. Like I think everybody knew he was gonna get overtaken, but for a few laps there, like he put up fucking a fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I until Hamilton, but then you know, psych as fuck.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's fucking wild. All right,
this year's sick.
Let's talk about the Superliga. Oh, and just to answer Romo, dog, I got the second vaccine shot on Saturday, and yesterday I was up for the G's game, and I think I went too hard celebrating. I didn't drink. I didn't do anything. I was just kind of happy as fuck that I fucking died. Like I ended up with a fucking fever. I was at like 102 fever last night, and I was like just completely dead the rest of the day. So the shot fucked me up. I'm still feeling a little.
How long did it last you? The weekend? Just the weekend? You feel good now?
Yeah, Saturday night, and then yesterday, like most of the day yesterday. Today I'm feeling better, but still like right now I have a headache again. You know, arms sore. But I'll take it, man. I'll take it. Like I'll take this over anything else. Man, no, I think the Angel's hopping on. He's just running a little late, so he'll hop on as soon as he can. All right, Superliga. That's just crazy, right? Yeah, no, I agree with you. And I heard about this. I just didn't think it's actually gonna happen. I thought it was all bullshit.
Yeah, I thought that shit was over with. Like, you know, like, oh, they're gonna try to make it, and I didn't think it was like this close into being a thing. Like, I thought these fools were just fucking around or something. Or obviously someone wanted that shit to happen, but like, I don't know, man. It's so upsetting to me. Like, I know in MLS we don't have pro rel, but what does it do for the small teams, bro? Like,
that right? Like, so my whole problem with it is the fact that they're not even hiding the fact that it's all about the money, right? Like, it was no longer it's no longer about like dope competition versus other dope teams. It's like, no, like we just want to get money, we just want to get paid, and it comes out because they don't think they were getting enough revenue from the Champions League, right? That's where this comes from.
Yeah.
Like, so to me, that's wild, man. Like, that is some real wild shit. Like, there's no hiding it. You know what I mean? It's just like, fuck it, we need that money.
That's crazy though. Maybe they don't get enough revenue from the Champions League, but like, I feel like the leagues, for the exception of the Premier Leagues, I'm a little more upset with the Premier League teams, because it's like, bro, like you guys make a bunch of TV money, right? You make more money coming from the Championship to the Prem than you do winning Champions League.
Yep.
Right. And then the big teams that like qualify top, they get a lot of money. And it's like you still want more money. Like you are like the teams that joined they spend like crazy. Like every team that joins spends like crazy, including my team, Atleti. And it's crazy, like it's crazy that they like Atleti, for example, like this year they got knocked out in Copa del Rey by a third division team. Like, you're gonna stop that possibility from happening to join a league where you play I get you're playing the better teams, but like Atleti, like 10, 12 years ago, were in the same position that small club was at. And like, come on, dog. Like,
it doesn't make it just doesn't make any sense, right? Like one of the dopest things about like the European nights is when a small club comes up against a big club in a knockout, right? And it's close. It's like a 1-1 game or a 0-0 first leg or whatever. And the second leg, it's all there. I mean, I love that shit. That's just dope. Don't get me wrong. I do love the super matches too, right? Like, you know, any of those teams joining versus any other team is a dope match too. But like, it makes it special when it's like on the quarterfinal, on the semifinal, or the final, right? But just having it like week in, week out, like, I mean, don't get me wrong, you know, I'll tune in. I'm pretty sure I'll tune in for that shit. But it's, you know what I mean? Like Leeds Liverpool today, right? Like Leeds 1-1. Get it, Liverpool's in a shit team, but that's dope. Like, you know what I mean? When the owners are coming out and saying, hey, we're probably not going to field our best team on the Premier League match because we have this matchup on Wednesday. Like, it's weird, man. I just don't like it. I don't like it at all. I hate, man, I just hate the fact that they're so blunt about, like, this is a money grab, right? Like, I hate the fact that there's, like, not even any kind of sugarcoating it or anything. They're just like, no, like, it's money. Like, it's whack as fuck. Like, that's really, really whack for me. I didn't like it at all. Fucking Arsenal.
And there's teams in here that shouldn't even be there. If you're talking about the last couple of years, like Arsenal shouldn't be there.
Man United
shouldn't be there. Man United shouldn't be there. Like,
yeah.
Like, if we're really real about it, you know, that's how you know it's a money grab.
Yeah.
And it was crazy because I didn't realize I was watching, I forgot the name of the show, but I was watching the show right now when I got home from work, and they were talking about that 3 of the co-founders for the league are American owners. It's the Kroenke, Arsenal owner, Liverpool owner, and what's the other fucking team? I forgot the other team. It's another Premier League team. But that shit's crazy, bro. Like, I really don't understand it. I don't like it. I'm a big fan of lower leagues. I'm a big fan of rooting for the underdog, and this to me completely kills that for me. Like, it'll kill. Like, I'll still watch like the lower league games, but like, what are they playing for if they don't have that to chase? Like, to be a better team. Like, what is there to play for?
Yeah,
like, I don't.
And don't get me wrong, right? Like, again, MLS doesn't have relegation. And y'all, we're Angels like almost home, so we're gonna give them another 5 minutes before we get the show started. Stick around. We'll hop into G stuff in about 5 minutes. Just trying to get the third voice in here. So bear with us. So back to Super League thing, right? Like, MLS does not have any relegation or promotion, and I get that. Like, so for us, like, it's kind of normal, but like, the whole European base, or even like South American, right? Like, it's all based on like, you know, either winning it or not going down, right? Like the River going down, or like any of the or Atleti at one point went down, right? Like, these clubs, like, is always that. Like, when the Super League, there's none of that, right? Like, there's no relegation. It's just like, hey, Arsenal's bottom of the league. They made a shit ton of money, and they'll be back next season. So, like, to me, like, you know what I mean? Like, what's Arsenal, right? Arsenal cannot compete with any of these teams week in, week out. Like, that's not even a thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they just can't. So, like, what's going to happen? Bottom of the league doesn't matter because they're getting a fat paycheck anyways. It's wild. And for the players not to be aware of this, right? I just read an article on how, like, they had to have a meeting with the Arsenal players today because they weren't informed of any of it until it came out on Saturday. It's just crazy to me. Just wild. Crazy. All right. Last thing before we hop into the show, Angel said almost on. MLS Fantasy. Did you play MLS Fantasy?
I did, bro. I'm so fucking sad, though. I'm not sad because I didn't pick the right players. I'm sad because I started the wrong players. So up top,
you left people on bench.
I had a gut feeling, right? That Kyoto, because shout out FFO, he's my guy, right? I won MVP with him this past season. So I drafted him. He had a good season last year with Montreal. So I drafted him. And my gut told me play Kyoto, play Sardes up top. Cool. I like Pato as a player in general, and I figured he was gonna have he's gonna have a good season. So I drafted Pato, and I didn't realize that I could play with 3 up top because I was on my fucking phone. I should have done this shit on my computer.
Wait, how do you do 3 on top?
You sub a midfielder out or a defender out, and you could sub in a striker in. So I didn't know that. So
yeah, I didn't know that
with
either.
Two up top. So I played Pato Sardes, and I make Sardes my captain. Kyoto scores against Toronto. He fucks Toronto real good. And I lost by like 3 points. And Kyoto made me 7 points. And that's how my fantasy weekend went. I lost by the points that were left on the bench because I fucking did not go with my gut feeling.
Yeah,
I should have started Kyoto.
I ended up I didn't do bad. I won with 6-7 points, And most of it, shout out to Chicharito. Most of it, shout out to Chicharito. Came through with 24 points.
That you captain him, right?
I captained him, dog. You know what I mean? Listen, I've been rocking with him. I've been rocking with him like this whole time, right? I'm over here, standing tough with him, trying to stay with him. So when this came out, I was like, yo, I have a feeling I'm gonna go with this. Make him my captain. 24 points, dog. 24 fucking points, dog. And I was like, let's go. I ended up winning. I just no reason about it because I want to talk about Chicharito being my captain and getting me 24 points. Captain Chicharito, and that fucks with that heavy. Hi, Angel. Oh, I can't hear you. You figure this out, and then we'll get the show on. We'll get the show on. Yeah, Chicharito 24, Bo with 9, Gil with 9, and then Bucio's bitch ass gave me 3, Barrios gave me 4, and Chara gave me 3. Don't I bet it on Portland too. I had Portland keeper and I had Portland Chara and I had a Portland defender.
Let's not even go Portland, dog. I draft Blanco. Motherfucking not even on the bench, dog.
Yeah, I did not play. Though.
So that shit got me sad as fuck, dog. I told Angel, right? Because we were watching the games at his house on Sunday. We watched the Columbus Philly game right after, and then Portland was at 7:30. So I was like, I'm not gonna stay this late, But I had Alio Adnan from Vancouver. So he played against Portland, and I had Blanco. Tell me why both these motherfuckers did not even make the 18, dog. Both of them, fool. I fucking lost on DMPs.
Hold on, let me try to message Angel. So
yeah, we can't hear you, Papa.
Check your input setting. Hey, Angel, check your input settings for Discord on your microphone. Can you hear me? I don't know if you can hear me. I'm just yeah. Sorry, guys. We'll be honest. As soon as Angel can figure out his microphone.
But that shit sucked, bro. Like, and I only lost by 3 points, and Kyoto would have made that up for me, like easy, no problem. You know who got me big boy points? Gayesi on that clean sheet. Atlanta. That was a good game too.
Jesus Christ, man. Sorry. Here he's again. I hate Angel, dog. I love you, Angel, but I hate you. I had Supadic for a defender from Portland.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay. I don't know what the fuck is going on with my shit. Like,
all right, turn your camera on so you can fix the whole thing.
Yeah, I'm coming.
Yeah, Super League, they lost 2-0, right? He gave me 3 points. I had Dennis Steris. That motherfucker gave me 2 points, dog.
You want a good tip for fantasy? Damn, dog, but I'm on live, so
all right. DM me. Yeah. All right, let's get this fucking show started, boys.
All right, you guys hear me well, right? Everything's okay.
I'm on mute.
Yo, what up? And welcome to another episode of Straight from the Stands, an unapologetic, unofficial LA Galaxy podcast, hosted by 4 Foul-Mouth supporters who bring you their thoughts and views on everything related to LA Galaxy, straight from the stands. I am your co-host, Smarts, alongside the always angry Angel, his counterpart, level-headed George, and the man with the facts, Masa. This is Straight.
Okay. Yes, I can. Sorry.
Good evening. Shut up and let me start the show. Shut up and let me start the show. Shut up. Shut your ass up and let me start the show. Good evening. How you guys doing? How you guys doing? Angel, I know you're rushing. I know you're still a little sweaty from your workout, but I'm glad you're here with us. How's your day today? How's your weekend?
It's funny because I was rushing, right? I was rushing so much I left my phone at Target. I had to go back to Target to get my phone. Yeah, I got in the car, like, in my shit. I'm like, oh, fuck. And then I had to go.
Where'd you leave it? In the reception?
Self-checkout. No, self-checkout? I guess I put it down. Yeah, self-checkout. I put it down because I guess I grabbed my wallet to put, for what I was paying for.
Angel left it there.
I grabbed everything else. Except for my phone because I left it right there on the counter and it was still there. I went back. No one fucking noticed it was there.
That's fucking wild.
Nobody.
Well, I'm glad you found it. Yeah, I'm glad you found it. But moving on, Masa, how you doing? Make a short snap because we're running late and I want to get into this.
I'm chilling, baby. Happy. That's all.
There you go. I'm also doing fine. Listen, I've been waiting to talk about the Galaxy since the game finished. So that's that. Let's get into it. I looked for some news and rumors so we could talk about it a little before the game. I found nothing. All I found was Chicharito pictures everywhere. Do you guys know of any news or rumors that you should talk about before we talk about the game?
I haven't heard anything.
We won, baby.
Okay.
Okay,
that works. That works. All right, but since there's nothing else to talk about, let's talk about this fucking game, right? And like what we do, let's talk about lineups. Let's talk about how we started off. We started off with Bond at goal, which we're all assuming. The appearing stairs as center backs. Now we'll talk about them a little bit. Biafania out right, Fisher out left, Dos Santos and Saldaña in the midfield.
Left.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, Biafania left, Fisher right. I'm sorry. Saldaña and Dos Santos in the middle with Legit out right, Granzier out left, right? Vasquez down the middle and Chicharito up top. First of all, was there anything about this? Because I think one of you guys nailed it to the T.
I called the midfield. I didn't call.
And I called the defense.
Okay, so it's a combination of.
And I said that I wanted Neil instead of Stairs, but I didn't see it happening. But I did call Saldaña getting start.
Massa called that in the midfield. So that's what I'm saying. It was a combination of Mighty and Massa's. Yeah.
All right. So any I don't think so, but any surprises from the starting lineup? Anything that caught your eyes?
No.
Yeah.
I think that was the best possible lineup. Maybe Granzier starting just because in preseason, like the weekend before, we saw him for like legit 25-30 minutes.
Yeah.
But I mean, you had him there, so why not?
Yeah, I figured it started. What I think the biggest surprise to me was Legit out wide. Just because I didn't see it happening. I didn't. He doesn't perform the best, or doesn't perform out wide for me. So that's the only surprise I had. But it made sense given that who we have on the roster right now, or who's available right now. It made sense for him to be out wide. Saldaña getting the start surprised me in a good way. I thought he did really well with in the last preseason game, and I'm glad that Vanny saw it and recognized it and gave him a shot to start the match. I mean, for a kid that just got called up to get the nod to start the season opener in a game that, you know, as we saw, was a lot of pressure on the boys, right? Like there's a lot of pressure to get a result here, and you get the nod. Like that's big confidence from your coach, right? Whether that's a consistent thing where you're starting often or where you're getting minutes here and there, like it's still a big nod from your coach to give you that responsibility. Right?
Yeah, I agree. It's crazy too because you plug them in a midfield where you're gonna go at it with Matuidi, right? You're talking about a World Cup winner, and you get the nod to start against a midfield like that. So I mean, big shout out to Manny though. Like I'm happy with Saldaña starting just because there's a pathway, right? You put in the work during the preseason, during training, and you get a start during the season. So I said it many times, like I much rather take my chances with the kids. If they make mistakes, then I'm good with it. I'm not saying that he made any mistakes, but the fact that Vanny gambled, or not gambled, but he gave him the confidence to start, and I'll take that shit 100% every week.
Yeah, you know what, and also like I guess what really like impresses me is the fact, or not impresses me, that I like is the recognition, right? We talked about like Dunbar and Wilder and all these kids like who gave glimpses, but then we didn't really see them. Where now you see Saldaña had a really productive match in the last preseason game, and then gets immediately recognized by giving the nod for the first game, right? Listen, we had Harvey that could play in that position. We had Sasha that could play in that position. Like we had players to play that position, right? You could easily throw in a jet there and had Dunbar out wide from the beginning, or Koreniak out wide from the beginning. Like there's choices to be made, and at least for Vanny's point of view, like the best choice was Saldaña. That says a lot to me. But all right, let's get into the first half, into the game. Angel, give me start off. Give me some thoughts. Give me some topics to talk about.
Because we are talking about Saldaña, I do want to make a comment about him, and just in general in terms of that first half, because that's the majority of the time that we did get to see him, right? As everyone knows at this point, right, that I'm probably his biggest fan, right? I'm ready to go get his jersey and the whole nine, right? I don't like him playing deep. I had this conversation with Massa, and I don't like him playing deep. Everything that he did, though, when he had the ball, spot on. The problem to me was, and I don't know if it's lack of strength because it obviously it's gonna hit on myself a little, but night and day with Harvey in that deep role. I'm not gonna say CDM role, but in more of a deeper role than what Saldana has given us. Because what Saldana has given us, and when he looked pretty well, at least in my opinion, preseason, and when he in yesterday's game is when he's playing alongside Jonah. He's not when you're not asking him to take on defensive responsibilities. Because other than that, when he had the ball, when he was playing in transition, when he was distributing with everything, still like he was still dropping dimes, he's still doing everything. Now, with that being said, I won't say he was caught off twice, right? Twice. One of them wasn't even his fault. It was a bad ball from Villafania that left him in a compromising position that Villafania could have probably gone to center back instead. And two, the other one, which was probably the first one, his first mistake, that when he did lose the ball, it's against Matuidi, bro. Blaise Matuidi,
Yeah.
That dude's a fucking monster, So I'm not mad at Saldana for losing one ball out of an entire half and such, right? When for periods there, it felt like we were getting caught in transition. And one thing that we did see from Saldana, though, is that he's not pacey. So I'm not asking him to be the fastest player out there to keep up with, whomever in terms of pace. So I don't know if I'm keen on seeing him again in that deep role. If you're telling me, hey, go ahead.
So you know what? Like, and I think we're both seeing it amongst the same lines, but I didn't think his problem was that he was deep. I thought his problem was that he was a little slow on the tempo, like the releasing of the ball and the movement was a little slow. And for me, I think that was like the biggest issue in the first half. It was the fact that because of the slower tempo, and it wasn't just him. It was, I think Jonah was a culprit of this too. I think because of that, like by the time we're attacking, like we never really caught Miami off guard until after the 30-minute mark, after the water break, right? And I think part of that has to do with Saldana. His pace of the game was a little slow for me.
Well, and I think you hit it. I don't necessarily think that's the fault of. I don't think that's Saldana's fault. This is where we'll get to eventually. I think it was more on Jonah because Jonah should have been the one setting the tempo, right, dictating the game, and he didn't do that. Listen, I'm not knocking Saldana for not releasing the ball quicker or for not playing the game quicker. He's like, I think Chris mentioned it in the chat. Maybe he was a little nervous. I don't know. Like I don't think so because I don't think that he was nervous because apart from those two mistakes, I didn't feel like he was slow, or at least any slower than what anyone else was playing, right? Which is not really a negative to me because at that point he was still doing all the things that we see him do, right, with the switches and the simple passes. Occasionally you did see him, glide with the ball, so he did look good from time to time. The glimpses are still there, all that stuff. I'm not concerned. At least maybe what, Rudy, is probably what you're saying. As a collective, we were a little slow. I probably put it more on Jonah than I would Saldana because Jonah should have been the one dictating the game, the one saying, Saldana, I'm back.
I don't think you need to blame anybody. I don't think we need to point fingers. It was something that that we started that way. You know what I mean?
Right, and I don't mean it like, hey, you fucked up, Rafa. I'm just based on what I saw in terms of Saldana. Like I wasn't really upset with it. I was fine with his play. But it had been. But that again, collectively as a whole, our tempo was not. It was slow. It was very slow. That I agree.
Masa, before we start breaking it down, like a little closer to the timeline, give me thoughts on Saldana and everything me and Angel just discussed.
Well, I thought Saldana was fine. I agree with a lot that Angel said. I don't think tempo was. It's crazy that you guys mentioned tempo because Angel was telling me like, we look a little slow, and I was like, yeah, I agree. But then I was telling Angel, I think it's more of a tactical thing. I think we're holding on to the ball and we're trying to gas out Miami because they're not game ready. I think the first half or for the first 30 minutes, I think we just kind of not necessarily took it slow, but we tried to tire out the opposition. Well, at least I'm assuming that's what happened because we looked different, after that water break.
Well, so in my opinion, right? Like, and let's talk about this. I think it was one or two people who are really responsible for this, right? Right before the break, Grant Sears sends in an early cross, kind of lofted coming in. I don't know if you guys remember that. I think it was one of I think it was Chicharito's bad touch or something happened, but like, he sent a lofted cross.
Bad touch was legit on the opposite side.
Okay, but it was one of those plays where he lofted it in. It was an early cross, and a chance was created, half-assed chance, but it was a chance was created. Shortly after that, we went into water break, and then you start seeing Vasquez look for that pass. You started seeing Granzier like hit that pass earlier. You started seeing like the wings trying to come in and do the same thing. So I don't know if it was Vanny recognizing, oh, that's the way, or Granzier just is part of something they recognized it. And I think that was really the big changing point, right? So that's why like I think I disagree a little bit with you because it was I really think that we were just not finding the space, right? We were playing two in front of Miami, like Granzier for one. I think that guy he's quick, man. Like he has some you could get away, but you got to find him in space, right? We were finding him out wide with a defender in front of him, right? And you saw him; you still find a little bit of space
because we were finding him a lot. But I think part of it, and this is one of the things I didn't like from the first half, and Mas and I alluded to this, that for a while there, now we're seeing them. We felt like we were playing a little bit of GPS ball because no one was checking in, and I think it was a water break, right? Where before that, when you'd see Grand Sir, out on the left wing or push up, he'd be one or two defenders on him. He's trying to make something out of nothing. That's when occasionally you'd see him putting across, right? It looked like Zlatan ball over again. Like, who the fuck are they giving to? Why? Because no one was checking into him. He was like on an island. That's really what it felt like for a second. Agreed.
Well, no one was checking in.
It really did feel like GPS. No, it felt like GPS.
I don't think so. Like for me, it wasn't so much of nobody was checking in. Nobody was checking in an offensive way, right? Like we're all just kind of like it was checking in, like pass back, right? Like it was pass back, and I think his intention is really more to attack. So when he doesn't find like that second or third movement from a run to either pull a defender or like hit that pass, like. He's going end line. We saw it in the other wing too, right? Like with the crosses, and I agree. I start seeing that, like the first few attempts that we had were crosses in like not very good positions, right? Like there were defense was back there, not very good positions, but there was crosses, and I was just like for a second there. My initial thoughts were like when those first 20 minutes or so, I was like, oh, like here we go, like maybe it wasn't just GPS, maybe these were they get nervous and all they do is like I don't know, cross, right? Obviously, we know how that turned out. And it's cross, right? Listen, let's. So we're all in agreement that the first 30 minutes, it was just flat.
I hated it, bro. Like
that was terrible.
I hated it. I told Angel, like, man, I don't understand this possession shit. Like, you already know, I'm not a fan.
No, listen, I'm not a fan of that kind of possession either.
Right, because there was no like intent. Going forward, so that was a big issue for me. And I hated that when the wingers legit or Granzier were in the attacking third, everyone kind of laid back or like we were like too separated. No one like checked in offensively. That shit bugged me so much. Like not so much, bro. I was chilling, but like I was just like, man, I can't believe this is the shit we're like I can't believe this is the shit we're gonna play. We're gonna play GBS ball with possession.
Yeah, I think it showcased, at least for me, it showcased how legit is not a winger. 100%. Right? Because even in those first 30 minutes, the only time legit looked decent was when he cut in more towards the middle or he dropped down. Right? Like I remember a play within the first 30 minutes where he dropped down, he picked up the ball in midfield, and he touched 1-2, 1-2. Even what? He did something I hadn't seen in a long ass time. His first touch was a churn to go front, right? For all last year, we talked about how his first touch is always behind. He churned and went, and he touched and he moved in front to get another pass. Like he picked up the tempo, but it happened in the middle of the park, right? It happened in the middle of the park, down the middle, like in the center of it. And he was playing out wide, and out wide, it just didn't create much for me. So like for me, it showcased. He can't be it.
He did create the only, I guess, real chance that we had in that first half, though, was created by him. I guess real chance you can say that was when top right. I can't remember who gave him the ball, but he put in the cross to Chicharito.
Chicharito with the bat with the yeah. No, I agree.
Chicha should have first timed it, but that's probably the only time. So that's not a good thing because it was 45 minutes.
Well, that's what I'm saying, right? I think legit, and we see it a little bit in the second half where they're tucked in a little more, and you see like that's more of the legit I want, or like the glimpses that we saw in preseason, that's legit that we want. What we've seen in the U.S. men's national team, that's the legit we want. So like, I'm not saying he had a shit game, but I'm saying I didn't like him out wide, right? I didn't like him out wide at all. So that's that. First 30 minutes, talk about Fisher. Let's talk about Fisher because there's and we talk about it a lot, but there's in the first 30 minutes there was one play that kind of really stuck out to me, and it was the first breakaway Higuain gets. And I think it's Fisher, and I think it's Fisher and it's Depew, and Fisher just kind of waits on him, tracks him back, but just kind of waits until Higuain closes up enough that he pushes him out wide.
Oh,
right?
It's just Pizarro, dog.
Oh, it's Pizarro. Oh yeah, you're right. My bad. Sorry, it's Pizarro.
On a not a heavy touch, but like a big touch, and he tries to go around him, and Fisher waits, and he turns his body right into him, and this fool like fucking cries about that shit.
How many times with the G's have we seen that play end up in a goal because we rush in for a tackle and we miss it, and they get a free chance of goal, or we don't know how to cover it, we let them come inside where they get a good shot on goal. Like the smarts behind Fisher is something that I'm really impressed by. Because listen, we got a question that we'll talk about.
I laughed when you guys said that because I listened to. I think this time, at least all the ones I'm aware of, I did try to listen to all the podcasts, right? Galaxy podcasts, pre, and I laughed because it's G30, right? That's the one you were on, Rudy.
G30? Yeah.
G30
yeah, my boy G30.
Right, so I listened to their preview, and they were. I think they called us out type of thing. It wasn't really a call out, but alluding to the fact that on our pod last time around we talked about. Araujo is having a run for his money because of Fisher, right? And that was more on the temper expectations thing because and I brought this up, because Araujo had seen different competition, different personnel, blah blah. Didn't say anything negative about Fisher. Just temper expectations and see what happens when he's going against real competition. So I just thought it's funny again perspectives, right? Because they thought it was they didn't see what we saw or they didn't see what Massa saw. They didn't see what Rudy saw in terms of Fisher in that game. Against was it RSL? Yeah, RSL, right?
RSL, yep.
Which crazy because at least now I don't think there's a question that it's not even a toss up. It's really his job to lose right now, don't you think?
100%.
Yeah. Listen, I'll take a smart defender all day long, right? Like somebody with an IQ like that, I'll take him all day long. Because I was impressed, man. I'm just so impressed with the way he thinks of the game or the way he recognizes what's going on. Because
what I like about Fisher, and this goes back to why I love CONCACAF, right? He's on that no bullshit defending, bro. Like if he has to kick the ball out, he kicks.
Oh, he did, yeah.
He has to if he has to boot it out the stadium, he doesn't give a fuck. If he has to go in for a hard tackle, he'll go for a hard tackle. And when he's on the offensive end, if he needs to fucking dive or half-ass dive on a foul, like a small foul, he'll take a hit. Like I mean, I fucking love this fool. Like,
and here's a player we could both like, right? Because the complete opposite of it is true as well. My man needs to touch the good ball to get out of pressure. He knows how to touch the ball. My man knows when to push up and spread the team wide, and he does that really well. Like, listen, I'm not saying Julian doesn't do that as well, because Julian, I think one of his strongest points is when he goes up. When he goes out in those runs, he does really well. So I'm not. This is not a comparison, but I'm saying like everything Massa said, yes, but he could also do the other things. So I like it. I mean, I like Fisher. We'll talk about it in a bit because there's a question regarding Fisher, but yeah, man, who's my starting right back right now? Fuck, right? Like I got to think about that because you know what I mean. Like,
home opener is gonna be Fisher.
Perhaps. But check it out though. Like I also don't want to clip fucking Julian's wings, right? Because Julian is our future, right? Or like either a future for the team or a payday for the team, one of the two. So I don't want to clip his wings. So I don't know if I agree with you 100% on that.
Yeah, but I'm just talking about next game, right? I'm not talking about for the rest of the season. I'm just saying for next game, you do not bench a defender who had a performance like that. It's that simple. You go with what's working. So if Julian has to see the bench for the next game, then he has to see the bench for next game. I'm a big around.
We'll hold that then for the.
Listen, let's get into it. So, as we alluded to, we said that first 30 minutes were pretty shit, right? After 30 minutes after the water break, they came out and again they were doing some things different, right? I think the tempo might have increased a little bit, but they were doing things different. But here you go, 45 minutes, and Higuain breaks away. A 2-on-1 versus the keeper at that point. or maybe 2-on-2 with the keeper.
Before that, though.
Yeah, go back.
Right?
Yeah, go back.
Okay. Okay.
Listen, I know it's his day. Oh, absolutely. Well, it's his half. His second.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I mean, you tell me where we're going. You tell me where we're going.
Player of the week, of course. I'm not gonna knock it one bit. Fuck
you tell me where you're going. You tell me.
We'll
Come on.
Up to that, though. We'll let up to.
Oh, was that the bad touch? Yeah.
Terrible, bro.
Yeah.
I was livid.
Yeah.
He still has done. Must can tell you how livid. I was pissed. You know what? I was livid AF. Livid as fuck. Right? Because listen, he's done so many good things. The one thing that we haven't knocked him for this preseason has been his fitness, how sharp he's been. His only issue has been getting the ball in the back of the net, right? Like that's been his only trouble. The runs have been on, even his passing had been on. Like all the simple shit was fine. It was this goal issue, and that's where we had that conversation last week, really, about, hey, does he get to 15? And we're like, okay, that's a good place. I think we're both in agreement on where our thoughts are with Chicharito for this season. Cool, fine. Bro, at this point, it's not even, I don't give a fuck if you're a DP. You're a professional in the MLS on your foot. And why are you trying to touch a ball to a guy that's no more than 5 yards away from you? The outside part of your foot. That's more uncomfortable for yourself, more unbalanced for you. That's what happened. If you kind of look at it, it was unbalanced for that. Just simple on the inside touch. Legit easy money, bro. Like, why? Why even?
Listen, I gotta. Like it was 12 men on the call, right?
Yeah, it was 12 men on the call.
All right, so fuck that guy first of all, but he called it though. He called it. That touch was him just overthinking shit. Like that bad first touch, that giveaway to legit, that was him just overthinking it, right? Because listen, you cannot tell me that Chicharito after he scored the goal was a different person, right? Like it was dragging down. And now
he was a good person though, even in the first half, because he was making for being on an island. Listen, that's not his forte, right? Being that low striker is not his forte.
Listen. Again,
he was hustling. I give him that. I didn't knock him for any of his work.
No, but that first touch and that giver that we're talking about, unacceptable. Period. Fucking period. Right? Like especially when it leads to a goal. Right. So you're right on that. But I also think that that's him just kind of like overthinking shit. Right? Like just trying to do too much, trying to do something to get that shit going. And I think like once you get that away from him, once you take that away from him. Once you start finding him, like it's a wrap, right? It's a wrap, and I think that's what happened. But yeah, let's go back to his goal. Bad giveaway, turns around. People, Higuaín by himself, fucking 2-on-1 versus the keeper, pulls Bond out. He's a goal. If we rewind that for a second, though, like he was offside, right?
I don't know. I don't think the camera angle.
Rudy, so shout out to Rudy because he's the one that put the picture with the grid in our clicky chat. But after further revision and assessment with Masa, because after you posted that, I went and
we're on it for like 30 minutes.
Yeah, I looked at a lot of because I was looking for the angle that they show on the side angle type of thing, right? If you look at it's odd because we're looking at the TV angle. The TV angle is not really giving the sideline, right? It's not going to be easy. It's not. So at the end of the day, I don't know. It's not as clear and obvious as it is, in my opinion. If you look at the field lines, right, starting from the line, from the midfield line and the way that they cross straight up, and then if you look at the green lines from the grass, look at the shoulders. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
Look, fair enough, right? It's
right. And for us on TV, it's offside. But that's what I'm saying. Like, we don't have the angle that they have, which that's a whole different topic. Yeah. They should have something that makes it easy.
Listen,
that's a hard issue though, because not even they had to get a camera angle.
Right.
Like,
if you don't set up
camera angles during the game, then why the fuck do you have VAR?
Was the point of VAR? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I agree. Well, listen,
my issue.
Here's the thing, though, right? I watch out of all the games I watch, when I see these bullshit ass like half a fucking hair offside get called, I get mad because I don't think like just let them. Look, we want goals, right? Like you want goals. Obviously, it's my team, so I kind of don't want to score on us. But you know what I mean? Like those calls, I think you don't call, right? So whatever, it's not offside. What I did, why I wanted to bring it up though, is because I seen some heat for Fisher, but I want everybody to recognize the run that people does for that play. because he runs inside and just kind of elongates his run until he turns in and then runs after the ball, right? Like his run is not straight to the ball. It goes from that midfield out to left and then cuts in. Like it's a really dope run. For what it's worth, it's a really dope run. And you got the reward for it, you know.
And I gladly say, like, you guys saw it, right? I went on the clicky chat, you know, I was saying, you know, that's kind of more on Fisher than it is on anything else. Like, he should have, you know, played his line. I rewatched the game last night, the entire thing, beginning to end it, and I saw that. You know what it is? We were so focused on the offside. You know, was it offside? Was it not? That I wasn't paying attention to what people did with this run. Like, right? What he did with this run. That's spot on what you said, and look at how close it was to the halfway mark. So even in itself, our back line is playing a high line, right? So you're very likely to get caught off on something like that. So that's not really a defensive issue, unless you're talking really about the center backs, who are the ones responsible for holding that line, right? That big line. If that's the case, then sure, you can say some Steres and Depew if you want to blame the defenders.
It's hard to but it's hard to blame the defense. We were caught on
which is what I'm saying. Like, if you want to blame someone, right? If you want to blame someone in the back line, it's going to be your center backs for pushing that high line when maybe they shouldn't have, right? Maybe hold a little deeper because of the where you're going to get caught. You're going to get caught in that type.
But the thing is the thing is, like, we're in the attacking front, and it switched like that, right? Like, and it was a good transition from them. Right. So like, you don't want the separation with your back line and the midfield when we're in the attacking front.
In this game, at least in the first half, because the second half we'll get to, which I think we did better in terms of dominating and really limiting their transitions. But in the first half, the transitions were a weakness. That's when people talk about, you know, we had possession. Sure, we had possession, but it didn't seem like it, because every single opportunity that the Miami got, they created opportunities. Listen, Bond, we didn't even talk enough about Bond. He kept us in the game for a good period of, you know, honestly, he kept us in the entire game. Now you think about it, because he had some saves.
Yeah, listen. So we'll talk about him for a bit, but let's talk about the transition thing that you just mentioned right now, because I think we were put in situations where we had to recover from transition, right? But there's a lot of things that were better from there. And I'm gonna talk about one guy that you know you're tough on, Steres, right? One of the things that we call him out often is the fact that he doesn't know how to lead, he doesn't know how to communicate with his backline, right? I saw something different, at least for one play that was super obvious. I don't know if he did it throughout the game, but one thing that stood out to me was I think it was Matuidi on the ball with Higuain kind of getting wide on one of those transitions. Matuidi gives him the ball, all right, and the Depew comes in and slides in him and stops the shot from you know getting a bond. Prior to that, like right before the pass, Steres kind of looks over, realizes the space that's opening up, and yells at Depew and points behind. Right, Depew recognizes it, and that's why he's there. So again, I don't know if he did the whole game, but like I never seen him recognize that. I never seen him lead that back line like that or do that direction ever before. And again, we watch a lot of their game, especially the defensive fuck-ups, and I had never seen that before. So I gotta, you know, I bash him a lot. You know, we give him shit, but I do want to recognize him for that play, at least that play, because if that's what the defense is doing, is that's the way they're communicating, I think we're gonna be all right, even in transition attacks.
I'm happy with Steres on this game just because we didn't have to talk about Steres. You feel me? Like he wasn't an issue, and we always said that we don't have to talk about a defender, and he obviously did his job. You know, we got scored on twice. You know, if he calls on the first one, if he calls on the second one, whatever. We'll get to the second one later, but you know, I have nothing bad to say about Daniel Steres in this game, which is a positive.
I could, but I'm gonna let him have it. I don't think he did anything significant, in my opinion. There's still things that I don't like about it. At this point, it's just, you know, nitpicking, right?
Because, yes, thank you. Yep.
Because he's just not good, right? But what did I say last podcast though? Right? Like, listen, I said that they're both starting, and that if they can just get a run together, they can keep some momentum going together. They can be a serviceable pair, and I did say that they can be a serviceable pair. So it's not like I'm really not saying that they're fully incapable. I just don't think he's good enough for our future. That's a whole different story. But in terms of he was fine. He was fine.
He was serviceable, well, sure. So was Depew.
Yeah, like it was fine. Yeah, and now Depew though, that's a different conversation. Because Depew, we talked about it in the preseason stuff, and I think Masa mentioned it too. I think it was in the last podcast, or it may have been you, Rudy.
No, it was me. I said he's down the pecking order.
He said me.
He went all the way down the pecking order. Yeah, he went all the way down the pecking order. You know, when we talked about the players that are there, you know, people, Williams coming, potential Sega Genesis, Jalen Neal, right? Steris, and with Depew, we had to dress like, yo, from we see Depew in preseason, it's not there. Whereas last season, it was the other way around. It was because of preseason, we're like, yo, we want Depew as our center back. Fuck Steris. We need Depew and people or whatever.
Yep.
Right? Right. This time around, I was not expecting anything from him. And fuck, man, listen, the first 10, 15 minutes, I think it was a 13-minute mark. I think Masa, remember when we talked about it, like, fuck, I was like, come on, if you're going to. So he comes out, and who did he try to crack? Was it Pizarro? Somebody. But he comes all the way to maybe like 3/4 of the field early on, and he gets a foul. He gets a foul call, but the ref lets it play. And that one, take him out. Take him out. Like, if you're committing to that, take him out. Right side, he didn't take him out. Ref let it play, didn't get a yellow because maybe that would have changed this game for what's to come, right? In the remaining 45, right? Because those slides inside the box, maybe he doesn't make them, right? He did it twice, thrice. How many times did he do it?
Yep.
I don't know, like, but they were fired each time.
Like, they were so nervous. Like, I was nervous every time he was like, oh, stay. Because even you had the other, let's say he does get the ball, then it's the other element. What if his arm stays out and the ball hits the arm? Well, then is that a pin? Like, it's up to the ref. A bunch of shit could have happened around this shit, right? So maybe, thankfully, in retrospect, the ref just let him play on. He didn't commit the crazy foul that I was hoping he would have just done, because that would have been yellow. Straight up, that would have been yellow early in the game. And the ref would have given the yellow. He gave Miami's guy was at 45 seconds to give him a yellow card. So it's not like he wouldn't have given.
He wasn't shy with them. Yep. But see, like, that's
exactly. So he got saved. Yeah, go ahead.
That's my problem with Depew, though, right? That's my biggest problem with Depew is because we've seen it already. Like, last season, was it last season? The season before, like, he gave up a couple pens. He's gotten carded like for slide tackles that are a little reckless, right? And that's what makes me nervous. That's the only thing I don't like him. But this game, like, other than the one you mentioned, like, his slide tackles, saved, maybe not saved us, but like avoided Bond to be put in a situation where he had to make a big save, right? And it was cool. I can't do this the whole season, though, man. That shit gets me mad nervous. I'm with you on that. Like, that gets me a little like, dude, chill. What are you doing?
I mean, what are you doing? Like you said, it would like the Galaxy Guy podcast said in the chat. Bond had 6 saves through.
So let's go there.
Saves, right? Well, and that really clicked on the peak because you're right. Maybe because of yellow, maybe Bond would have. We wouldn't be talking about 6 saves.
Yeah.
Or 3 saves. We'd be talking about 8, right? At least 8. Because of those 2 opportunities that Depew saved there.
Well, listen, I want to talk about Bond in comparison to what we had like in the last, I don't know, fucking whatever, like since Pinedo, maybe. I don't know. Like, I don't know how long this want to go back.
That's accurate.
100% Pinedo. We haven't had this sense of
safety.
I don't know.
Security.
Safety, relaxation, security, any synonym that you can think of, and any antonym that goes with David Bingham, right?
Well, listen,
we haven't had that since Pinedo,
So let me go there, right? Like, it's security, and the thing about it, like, I don't think he did anything really special, right? He made the blocks that he needed to make the blocks, and he saved 1 or 2, in my opinion, that were like, you had to make those or they're going in, right? But it's nothing out of ordinary when you're used to good goalkeeping, right? But we're not. So my guy looks from a different world, right? Like, I mean, again, the goals, I can't. I'm not gonna the goals, especially. Let's just talk about the first half goal. Like, what are you gonna do? You know what I mean? What are you gonna do with that one? Like, you're done if you don't, shorten up the angle. And you're done when you shorten up the angle because he had the easy pass, right? So I can't complain about the goal that scored him, and I could just rave about everything else he did because I think he was on point in everything he did. Like, I love him. I love Bond. Like, I just want to say that one more time. I love Bond. Like, I'm so happy with him, bro. I'm so happy because there's nothing to talk about. I can't complain about anything. You know what I mean? I'm so happy about that. But right.
What's the big
first half?
Really quick before we move on from Bond is, and I have this with Klinsmann too, is when the defense plays the ball back to them, I don't feel nervous. I don't be like, no, don't pass it back to him. Don't pass it back to him. Like, do something else. Like, boot it out. Fuck that. Oh, because I know, and he can give the balls on the dime, bro. Like, he's Oh, man, I love James Bond.
Yeah. All right. Actually, Masa, you have anything to add on Bond before we move to the second half?
Bond is dope as fuck, dog.
I'll fuck it. I love Bond. I just said it 5 times. All right. So first half ends. What are you guys feeling after first half ends, being down 1-0? If you guys can remember.
Oh yeah, I do. We were pissed.
Yeah, we were mad. I was at Angel's house and went outside with the kids. They were playing soccer in the back, and we just talking like, "Damn, dog, like what the fuck?" We were still hopeful because second half or whatever, we still had time to recover from 1-0 down. But yeah, it was kind of frustrating just because at the time I was like, man, that shit was offside. Like, how they gonna fuck us again? All this possession for nothing. That's exactly what's in my head. Like, fuck. I was mad at Cheech for that bullshit ass pass to Legit. Like, I was fucking pissed. So yeah, I was a little upset.
Angel.
That's what
for me, I wasn't upset with the Jet because I knew it was gonna happen. Right, that wasn't a surprise to me. I was not upset at Chicha. I mean, yes, I was upset at Chicha. Absolutely, right. Obviously, but my biggest issue with that entire first half was Jonathan, man, because he wasn't what I saw at the end of the RSL game. Right, he wasn't where I was with him at the end of the RSL game. RSL, that game against RSL, my mind's like, yo, he's on, he's sharp, his point, blah blah. And I said my only concern was if his legs can hold up, blah blah blah. I was all in on Jonathan, to start this game, and I don't know right now. I really don't, because I was not impressed with this game. I thought because he is our central point, because he is our true center midfielder, he's supposed to be our link up, our box to box between whatever happens in the back and whatever happens to Victor Vasquez, whatever happens to Daniel Vasquez or whatever, right? He's supposed to be that anchor for us, and it wasn't there. He straight up, Tweety was having a field day with him, right? And I get it. Look, it's Blaise Matuidi. It's Blaise fucking Matuidi. I get that. But if Jonathan can't even, I don't know. I'm not happy. I'm not happy because and obviously we'll talk about it. Second half, the difference night and day because of Masa's guy, and we'll get to that. I was not. I'm very disappointed with what I got from Jonathan in that first half, and he's on a contract year.
I'm gonna give you a perspective here, and whether you agree with it or not, like that's your opinion. But I think the transition game in Miami in the first half kind of dictated what he was involved with, right? And unfortunately, I think, well, at least from what I saw, or how I interpreted it, that transition game was a little too fast for him, and a lot of times ended up with him just kind of like in between there and here, like he wasn't. So I think that was the issue. I think that was the biggest issue, right? That when transition, he wasn't, he was kind of lost, and when we came out of transition, like he was either laying too deep or not close enough to the action to kind of dictate the tempo. And I think that one, like for me at least, I think that was more the gameplay dictated with that more than what he wanted to do, right?
But that's my issue, because he's supposed to be, to some people, the best center midfielder in the league, right? You don't get dictated like that. Listen, maybe it's split, right? It's not the entire first half, right? But at some point in the game, whether even if it's 15, 20 minutes of that, you have to dominate it. You have to, and when I say dominate, not dominate in the way that the stats are, no, dominate with intention, dominate in what we're gonna do going forward. Like never did. We never did. Not once in those 45.
I'm not stressing. It's game one, and I kind of realized what that was. But let me talk about what I thought in halftime. Like everything you guys said, I think you guys are right. But my biggest concern was the players and their attitude, right? Because again, when we talk about the GBS crosses, I really figured that it was because they had nothing else to. They couldn't think of anything else to do, right? So they resulted in crossing the ball because they didn't have another out. So for me, like I really thought, like, damn, these ones don't have the fight in them. They don't have the willingness to kind of like, just press it, do something different, do something extra, like put it on your shoulders and do something, right? Chicharito, I'm like, yo, like you're not gonna get out this rut. right? It wasn't just 2020. You're not getting out this rut because you're not in it. You can't find it, right? I wasn't stressed, but I was like down on it, right? I was just like, like fuck. There's not enough change in the time this Van is here. Like I can see where we're going, but there's not enough change, so it's gonna be a long season. Yeah, that's my mind state going into the second half. Second half starts off though. And do you guys actually
talk about starting? What moves did you want to see? Before the start of the second half, if you're Greg Vanney, let's say Rudy Vanney, what are you looking to do? What are you looking to?
The one big thing I wanted to figure out is how to get legit in the middle somehow. Like whether that's tactically just kind of like you're still technically on paper right mid, right wing, but I want you to tuck in a lot more and get closer in because that's where I like you better. And that's about it. Like I was cool with everything else. Like I didn't listen. My thoughts on Saldana being a little slow hadn't even kicked in until after a substitution where he comes out, and then I'm like, oh, maybe just that, right? So like for me, coming into the second half, yeah, the only move was like not even a move. It's just kind of more tactical, like pull in legit more in closer to the midfield, so he can be more closer and they can move the ball a little faster. That was my only thought about changes for the first half. You guys?
For me, I remember telling Angel we need more speed on the wing. Legit wasn't it. Same thing with you, Rudy. I'm not talking about subbing Legit out, figuring how to get Legit in the middle, and I'm already thinking Dunbar where Legit was at. That's what I wanted to see, right? I was like, not that Saldana was having a bad game, but at that moment, I felt like Saldana needed to come out, right, and have our three best center midfielders.
Which you're only allowed one.
And Jonah Vasquez and Legit in the middle, and then throw Dunbar out wide. That's what I wanted to see at halftime.
All right, Angel, your thoughts?
For me, and Massa can vouch for this, which is why I say Massa's guy. And Massa's been the one that's been on Harvey's tip for the longest, right? And I started seeing it in preseason, but I wasn't at the level where Massa was. Maybe the RSL game, right? Maybe then, yeah, maybe a little bit, but not now. Halftime, Massa, what I tell you? Who do I want to come out and who do I want to go in?
I forgot. I remember you saying you wanted Harvey in, but I don't remember who you wanted out.
I said Saldana has to come out. Listen, I love Saldana. There's no secret about that. Blaisman Tweedy was having a field day with that midfield. Right? Part of it, thankfully, in that second half, maybe he did get tired. Maybe that knee injury was bugging him because he got injured a little bit towards the end of the first half. Right? I don't know. There's one thing about Harvey that in my mind I'm thinking in that Tomasa, Harvey's a tank. There is one thing that they're not gonna do is throw right past doesn't transition like they're doing with Saldana. It's not Saldana's fault. Right? I just don't think that from what I saw in this game, I don't think that's his strength. Right? Playing that type of role. If Jonah's not gonna be supporting him down there or playing that headless chicken, I'm gonna need that enforcer there to support Jonah so he can do his thing. I need body, I need physicality, I need Harvey. That's what I want.
So
that's what I asked myself for. And I fucking remember because I know, but that's exactly what I asked him for.
So we'll move on and talk about the second half and the substitutions that came about. But can I just stop and say what you described was a technical substitution? Right? It was a substitution, not because of performance, but because of you fit this role better for this game. Right?
Yeah. Tactical. Yeah.
Oh, sir. This is the LA Galaxy team. Like, we don't do that shit. We just sub because, like, who's in the bench? You come in. Like, what the fuck? Like I hear you. We can do that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that shit. You know what I mean? Like,
because we were like, this is just DBS all over again. This is just DBS all over again. This is just DBS all over again. Because there was no changes made. There was no tactical movement made in that first half.
Well, I think... I thought there was. I thought it was a recognition of like earlier balls work better after 30 minutes. So I saw it then. I saw it in the second half when we started second half, right? Because Vasquez was also doing that now, and like, seeing that no change of personnel. So let's start talking about second half. The first 15 minutes or so, right? Or not even the first 10 minutes because the subs came in around the 60th minute. So like the first 15 minutes. Talk to me about first 15 minutes. What was your thoughts on how we started the second half and just the general feeling? Was it better? Was it, talk to me. Anyone, you guys?
Go for it.
Go ahead. I thought it was
thought it was better. Not much better, but I thought it was better. It felt a little more the same. I felt like our guys were getting gassed. Um, but the intention to go forward was there, right? Earlier cross or whatever. So we were looking for the draw, we were looking for the goal to draw the game.
Mhm.
So, but the changes had to come. I felt like some players were getting tired. Maybe they weren't 90-minute ready. So I mean, it was fine. It was better. There was more intent, which I was happy with.
Yep. Enjoy your thoughts.
Those first 15 minutes, do you guys remember any opportunity from Miami?
I don't think
Not top of the head.
no.
Not top of the head.
Right?
No.
Okay. Exactly. And that's what I'm getting to. Right off the bat in that first game, I don't know if it was just Miami coming, into because they had all the energy, they home, just everything that goes along with being a home opener and being a home team, blah blah blah. That second half, I think from the get go, and I don't see it as down as you guys do. I saw that we did start implementing some of our style of play and dictating the game the way that we wanted it to. We weren't getting caught in transition anymore, right? That's how Miami was getting us in that first half. Transition. In 15 minutes of play, we didn't get caught up in transition. It wasn't until obviously later on when the other stuff happened. Those first 15 minutes, in terms of sure, yes, intent was there, but my biggest thing was defensively, we were doing something different. I don't know what it was that Greg Vanny mentioned to Saldana and Jonathan and whoever and obviously the wingers and Vasquez about controlling that ball in a different sense of like, hey, don't lose this ball, play it back. I mean, like play it safe, move forward, don't even don't lose the ball in transition. I thought we looked a lot sharper with the ball. We weren't losing it in transition. We get Matuidi again. Maybe Matuidi was gassed. I don't know, but to me, Matuidi in that second half was irrelevant. Can't hear it, Rudy.
Can you hear me now? A lot of it had to do with a lot of it had to do with Galaxy's tempo, though, right? Because it wasn't as easy for defense, right? So the defense couldn't push up higher and attack those or start those transition plays from higher up the field. Like they were starting from further back now, limiting the space they had to work with, or giving the space actually to the Dallas defense. So I think, I mean, don't get me wrong. I also think like Miami kind of shit the bed a little bit because they dropped the intensity they had while the Galaxy kind of improved it, especially in the first 15 minutes. At least my opinion. In the first 15 minutes. So I'm with you guys. My thoughts were that like it wasn't really a lot what they did in the field, but it was almost like the way they came out, like the way they were like pursuing some of these stuff, like you felt the energy had changed within the team.
Yeah.
Right. And it gave me a sense of confidence. Like, I don't know. Again, I don't know why, because like they weren't doing anything special. We're down 1-0, but it gave me a little more confidence about like we could get a result out of here, right? And the result I was thinking is a 1-1 draw, but I was like, we could get a result here because these was wanted. Like there's something there. Like it's not the 2020 Galaxy where we're down a goal and after 15 minutes we're kind of like, okay, fuck it, we lost this game, right? Like it was more to that. It was more of a like it's only 1-0, we can still get this. But fair to say that the first 15 minutes, like. Not a lot in it though, right? Like there was, we played a little better. Miami played a little worse, but it was not a lot into it. Around the 60th minute, we get some subs. We get Grand Zira and Saldana coming out for Zubac and Harvey. The sub you called at that point, right? Like and then Zubac. So how were you feeling knowing that Harvey came in, but the Zubac came in? Like, what was your thoughts when that happened?
Baffled, bro. Confused. I don't even know what to tell you. There's no words. I mean, any synonym with confused, what?
Huh?
Like
again? Here we go again.
Huh? Like, listen, there's not a single fucking person in this Galaxy world who didn't have the same reaction. Not even Buki, I'm sure.
Buki, I bet you was like, "Yeah, we're gonna win."
No, fuck no, hell no. If he knows anything about Galaxy, absolutely not. Right? I'm not gonna say that I was like, damn, that's it, we lost the bed. I meant to say shit the bed. I was trying to keep it PG. That we were gonna shit the bed. I was, and my son and I had this conversation. The bright side in all this,
going to
I'm not a fan of Zubac. So yes, that it's evident that our formation is gonna change. there is no way that Zubak is going to play in the wing based on what we've seen. At that point, is Greg Vanny smashing his head against the wall, like, why isn't it working? No, because he didn't do the same thing. He went with 2 up top, right? And we'll talk about, the difference that made, but that was our reaction. Like, okay, fuck it. He's coming in. Of course, I wouldn't want Zubak in there. Fuck that. But the bright side, if he's coming in, like, and look at the personnel that came out, it doesn't seem that he's going to go and play out on the wing. It seems like he's going to go play up top. So if that's the case, then we're likely going to move into some formation where we're playing with 2 forwards. I couldn't tell you. I mean, I imagine 4-4-2.
So
not because Harvey was going to sit deep.
I'm sorry, like just bring back the conversation, because I want to have a conversation about like that the tactical side moving forward. Yeah, so let's just bring it back for a second, just for the game.
So was obviously Harvey? Yes, I told myself, fuck yes, absolutely, exactly what I'm asking for. This is gonna be it, right? Like I really felt that, and 2, the Zubak thing is like, I don't know, I really don't know like why, but fuck it, I guess why, because he's the only other forward, right? The only other actual forward by definition. I mean, unless we talk about Dunbar, but Dunbar has been effective at wing. So that's what our conversation was like. Yes, I can see why Harvey's coming in. Makes sense for what I said already a few minutes ago. And 2, Chicharito, like I said, he was hustling that first half, great, but he was not being effective, and that's not his fault because he just
and that was apparent.
It wasn't working for him, quite frankly.
And it was
yeah, exactly.
So again, we'll talk about the formation, but I think you're right though. Like for this game, it wasn't needed. But let's take a step back. Masa, your thoughts on the subs? Harvey and Zubak coming in.
Harvey, yes. Zubak, I was like, man, for real, like this is what we're gonna do. Like it's just upsetting to see, Doug, and that was my thought at the time, right? Because it's like fuck, like. Rely on this kid who, yes, obviously scored 2 goals last season, but like I don't know what they see in him, straight up. Like I don't get it.
I'm sorry.
I have a theory.
Go for it. No, I have a theory too. I've always said this. I've always given him the credit. Like he hustles, right? But that's not enough. Like to be a professional player, at least for me, right? But he runs a lot. He covers a lot of ground. Sometimes like a headless chicken, but he covers ground.
Always.
So I give him that, right? I give him that. Big ups on that.
Yeah, you know what? I'm not even gonna comment on it because I had same opinions as you guys, right? Like Harvey's coming in, Jonah's gonna get more freedom to move around and do his thing. Zubak, what the fuck are you thinking, Vanny? Right, that was my thought. So moving on, it doesn't take long for fucking Zubak to get justified for coming in, right? Still headless chicken, still runs hella funny, still doesn't know how to close his mouth when he's running, but he gets out wide. He gets out wide and stumbles and fumbles and runs and puts in a cross. Now here, let me put this up for discussion, right? Let's put this discussion. Does he recognize Chicharito's run as it's happening, or does he just kind of be like, "Fuck, I'm gonna cross it"? Leading up to the goal.
I want to give him the credit, just because this is shit that you
practice.
You see in practice, right? So you know where to find Cheech, because his runs, like, not saying his runs are wild, but he has that where he'll run straight at goal and then make a diagonal run.
Yeah,
or make like a slant, like football terms.
He football.
Like football runs, like he makes football runs, right?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, that
I want to give Zoo the credit because he also picks up his head too when he's about to cross the ball.
Yeah, listen, Maz's point, I think you're 100% right. Like, Chicha's runs are never just one run. It's like a combination of I'm gonna run here, then I'm gonna run here, and then I'm gonna run here. You tell me where, like, you find me in one of those 3 runs. So I hear you on that.
Really quick though, the build up to that, man.
I want to rewind that.
Okay, take it back.
And you know what? I think.
Go ahead. Yeah.
I feel like at that time, when we make that substitution for Harvey and Zubak, I think we go into a narrow 4-1-2-1-2, right? Because you have Vasquez at cam, and then the play starts legit on the right foot, more centrally, right?
Yep, he's in. He's tucked.
He drops into the CDM role. Jonah's right there. He picks up the ball. He plays the outlet to Vasquez, and then Harvey makes the run from the CDM position forward. Vasquez plays him on a one-time ball to Harvey. Harvey plays the one-time to Zubac. Zubac makes the run, 1v1. He beats the defender on speed. I don't know how. He stops. He does like a little fake, like he's going to come back in. He goes forward again, and he crosses the ball to Cheech. Cheech makes the fucking perfect run in between two defenders, bro. That shit is stupid.
Completely loses.
Play, bro.
Like, all right, fine. Let's go there. The build up play. What's the one biggest change in that play that never happened in the first half?
The jet in that midfielder role.
Mm-hmm. Well, that one of them, and also it was that one time touch, right? It was that pickup tempo. It's like move the ball, right? And it didn't give Miami a chance to settle, because even though like there was a defender on Zubac when he finally gets the ball, he's on his back foot already. He's trying to track. Yeah, but he's trying to track back. Like, he was not on him, but he's there, but he has to track back. He has to figure out what he's gonna do, right? And it's all that is that pickup, is the pickup tempo, is that one touch move. Again, right? Like, you're right. Like Harvey getting out of position to be available as an option, right? Like that. And that's all training. That's all practice. You know what I mean? So like, that's all Vanny. You got to give him that big up.
Rudy, because you asked about Zubac, I must say, give him the credit. I'm gonna give you credit for something right now, Rudy, because earlier you want to take it from us. He goes for you, bro. He goes for you. What did you say earlier this preseason that you liked from Koreniak and Dunbar, that both Mas and I agreed, like, based on your comment about Koreniak when he goes forward? What's the thing that you said? Do you remember?
That he's aggressive. That he attacks. Is that one?
He is decisive. He has his decision.
Oh yeah.
To make. Whether he works out for him or not, he commits to what he's gonna do. Yeah. He knows what he's doing. We talked about it a few times that he didn't give up on the balls, and we're going to the end. Like, the one thing that Koreniak has been doing and that Dunbar's been doing, like, they're not second guessing themselves. They're committing to what they're gonna do. Even if they fuck it up, they're committing to what they're gonna do. I generally think, based on the run that Zubac made, he can't shoot from there. He can't do anything else. Have you ever seen him actually take anyone on 1v1? Do you ever see him do any step overs? Do you see him do anything? No, he doesn't do any of that. So I don't really expect him to take that that defender like it. I don't. Apart from speed, but he had already the diagonal cross cut. The defender had cut, so he couldn't even cross him diagonally like on a simple cut and go in. I generally think that he did try to give to that ball. What I love more so about that ball is that it was low and driven, because I don't know if it's because he understood and it came out that way. But
was it that touch?
Because that was his intention. His intention was to cross that ball. Because there's nothing else he could have done from that angle.
No.
There's really nothing he could have done from that angle. So that's what his intention was. Now, if he meant to cross it with his left foot, which is not his ideal foot, if he meant to a low driven ball right on the dime, I'm gonna give it to him. He has
listen,
for him. I'm gonna give it to them. Yes, I think that was all intentional, and that's so. And I say I give you credit, really, because you talked about the players that don't have the confidence to do. Listen, you don't have to be. He has. When it comes to stamina, shit, sure, he'll run all day every day. But one thing that he has lacked for sure, more so than everyone, is that confidence, or that what would we say? Just
decisiveness
for himself. Saying,
decision,
like making, hey, I'm sure I'm gonna do this. Even if I fuck it up, I'm sticking to what I'm doing. This is my choice. I'm gonna make it happen. I'm gonna die by this, right? And that's one thing that he doesn't. That I haven't seen him doing. I don't think ever.
Yeah, man. Listen, whether it was or was not, I'm not here to bash Zubac today. I'm not here to bash Zubac today because coming home with a dub from Miami on a game that we were down twice, and he's part of the reason. He's a big part of the reason why we got the dub. I'm not bashing on Zubac at all. So with the intention or not, that's good assist on him, right? He should get a hockey assist for a second goal too, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Listen, Angel, you said is a low driven cross to the heart of the area. Chicha with a stupid run. I mean, listen, the defender had no idea where he was coming out from. Like, he had no idea where he was coming out from, right? Because I seen him look over his shoulder and he kind of does that thing. Like, we're like, oh shit, you're not there, right? Like, he kind of does a double thing and then he tries to recover. Too late. And then, like, the one thing, what we wanted to see from Chicharito was that goal. Was that touch to get away from him?
The goal is dope, right? The goal is super dope. The touch he takes.
Yeah.
The touch he takes to set himself up.
Yep.
Foot. Jesus Christ, that shit was like prime Cheech. Like, those are the goals that I remember Cheech scoring at Man U.
Listen, when we got Cheech, that's what I was expecting from Cheech from jump. That type of goal, right? Is not your Messi like goal. It's not your CR goals. It's not none of those. It's just he gets the ball inside the area.
His runs, his moves, yeah.
One touch and it's a goal, right? Like again, Massa, like you said it, that to set himself up, man, that was nice, right? He already did the hard thing with getting rid of the defender on him. The one thing we see,
because you mentioned the defender looks back, right? He looks back and Chicha's not there, so he takes the touch and the defender looks forward and he slips because the touch took him out the game. Like he turns, he's not there. He looks forward and he's there, and he reacts and it takes him out the game. Like the touch that he set himself up but took the defender out the game, and when he tried to react, he was already on the floor. Like he was like trying to hold on to this fool. Yeah, and he takes a shot. And it's fucking sick ass finish.
Through a goalie's legs. Yep. Through a goalie's legs and everything, man. Again, I'm harp on this. Listen, I almost got my face bit off when he scored that goal, right? Because we're all chilling in bed. Because I tell you, I'm not feeling that great because I got the vaccine, so I'm chilling in bed, dog. And it's been a pretty dull game because we're down 1-0, and this motherfucker scores, and I must have weeped or something. I don't know what the fuck it did, but I was excited. And like, yeah, and I jumped up, and Opie was laying down next to me. He got scared. He took a snap at me. I was like, yo, chill. Like, she just scored. Get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? I was hyped, bro. Like, I'm pretty sure my whole building heard me, because, man.
Dog.
True story, by the way.
Watching the game together. Volumes loud.
How are my pancakes?
Fire. Angel's pancakes fire, dog. His breakfast is fire. So the kids are playing outside, right? Lisa and Alice outside with the kids. Dog, we start fucking yelling, bro. Like, we're celebrating, right? Like, hard, bro. Like, we're so fucking happy. Like, it's like a relief, right?
Like, yes, I was gonna say that.
Like, I don't prove me wrong, is what I've been saying, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bro, this shit felt so good to scream out his goal, bro. And I know Angel felt that shit because Angel screamed with me, bro. We were like hugging.
We were in sync. Remember how I said last week that we had a weekend together, in Tucson. We were connected and all that shit. We're still connected. Right. It's pretty fucking clear because they said that they came from inside. The boys ran in, like, celebrated the whole nine. But they said that we both screamed exactly the same way. Like, everything was like a reaction. Everything they probably heard us down the street. Not only was it a sigh, that it was a sigh. It was a big sigh of relief. Not just the goal that we tied. I don't even think it was just the goal, right? The fact that we tied it. It wasn't even like the game winner. It wasn't. It was a tying goal.
It was Chicha's goal though. Like, it was Chicha's goal. That's what made it like that.
Goal, right? Chicha's goal in the first game of the regular season, with plenty of time to go. It's not like it happened at the end of the season where he's had a shit.
Doesn't matter
right now. Yeah. Massa said it, right? I think Massa said it last episode, and I know it's getting ahead of ourselves a little bit, but all he needs is that one, and then it opens the floodgates, right? I know that's very exact, verbiage, but the concept is the same. Relief. And I think that's what we all screamed, and I'm pretty sure the Galaxy fan base as a whole had that same relief. Maybe for different reasons or whatever, but it's that weight off the shoulder for sure for Chicharito, and that.
Well, so
no words. Like,
I wanted to get to that, right? Because, like, legit, I felt like a weight lifted, right? Because Chicha has scored. Can you imagine how he felt when he scored? Because if we all felt it, like, in the way you described it is what I felt. I told you, I almost got my face bit off, and I would have been okay with it because Chicha scored. You know what I mean? Like, but it was a weight. It was like, oh fuck, we're here. Like, okay, let's go now, right? Like, it was that. So I can only imagine what that felt like for Chicharito, right? Through all the shit that he's been going through, like, he's been real candid the way he's been expressing himself. So we could kind of wrap all that up and then let all that shit, just pop at one time. My God, like, so happy. You have no idea how happy I was. Just real quick, I think Huguito says Chicha's the first touch from Chicha is a chef's kiss. 100%. Like, that's it. Like, it was just beautiful. But again, let me just go back, right? I know there's some skeptics saying, like, oh, it was only the first game, other than that. Listen, if Chicharito would have scored with his butt, I still would have been happy. But the way that he scored that goal, like, that's a Chicha goal. Like, that's what you expect from Chicharito. And when you see that, like, if you're a Galaxy fan, if you're not excited for that, something's wrong with you. You're just being are you sure you're a Galaxy fan at this point, right? Because, like, my God.
Element to add to this is, think of who gave him the assist for the goal. Ethan Zubac. Now, think of everyone else that we're talking about down the line, in terms of the mix. Let Grandsir get his rhythm going. Let fucking Cabral get his rhythm going. Listen, Victor Vasquez we can't say anything about him because he was instrumental with both goals. Both goals.
with the whole team
right,
flow,
exactly. Man. Right. Let them keep flowing. Let Jed, whatever iteration we're talking about, our center midfielders, whether it's Jed, Jonah, Harvey, Danya, and Vasquez, let them keep molding. He's just gonna get more looks. Not from Ethan Zubak.
Yeah.
From Dunbar, from Karinian. Listen, Dunbar, and we'll get to that, but Dunbar can do that and better.
Yeah. Hey, listen, the thing is, like, everyone in the team could do that, right? When you start realizing how he needs to be served, I don't think there's a player in our team that doesn't know how to do that. We just got to find the spaces for it, right? I think that's a concern. But again, let's talk about that as soon as we get over this game. So let's keep talking about this game. 1-1, fucking hyped. For about a whole 5 minutes though. But we had that feeling for about 5 minutes, right? Because then he comes another fucking play that I don't get. I really don't get, right? It's a bad touch from Pizarro that Megs fucking Villafana. Right? It wasn't like his first touch Megs him. It's a bad touch that Megs him. He ends up kicking him.
Yeah, he follows through, right? He follows through on Villafana, kicks his shin, right? And I'm thinking, there's no way this is a pen. Like, they have to call it back, right? I told Angel, dog, that's not a pen. If anything, it's a foul on Pizarro. And Villafana wins a free kick. Like, this man is standing still, bro. He might have like a little hip check, dog, but even then, Pizarro's already going to ground because he kicked Villafana's shin. So I'm thinking, all right, they're gonna call it back, and then these motherfuckers, dog, review it. Ref don't even go look at it, and they call the pen.
Correct me if I'm wrong. That was Pizarro's bad touch, right? For himself, he had
it was a bad touch.
Yeah, really bad touch. It makes him, but it was off a bad touch.
That's why he follows through, because it was such a bad touch. He tries to put the ball through his legs, and that's how he ends up fucking cracking Villafana, because it was a bad touch.
Listen,
there's no way they're gonna fuck us like this, bro. And they fuck us
like that. Yeah.
It's crazy, right? Because like I told you, I had my doubts on the first goal. Right. But at the same time, like, it was hypocritical of me because every time they call it for any other team, like, I'm always like, oh, you can't call that. It's so minuscule, right? Yeah. So like, so I was being hypocritical myself. Yeah. Exactly. But this one, like, to me, like, that's clear and obvious. My guy kicks him, right? And then checks and falls. But like, you kick him first. Like, you're off balance. Like, but we could rant and yell and cry about this all fucking game long, and I bet you if we took an L, we would have, but I'm not. Pipa steps up, gets Ban going the wrong way. It's 2-1. Oddly though, like, I'm not like super stressed, right? Because I look up and I think it was like 67th minutes, 80th minute, 70th minute, something like that.
Time, right?
That part.
I was upset that shit got called, but I don't know if Angel had the same feeling, but I felt like it was fine. Like, I thought, all right, we're gonna get a draw. Like, at that point, you know, that weight off your shoulders that you just scored. I was like, all right, we could probably get a draw. Like, team's playing better. That was a bullshit call. I think
they had been Miami's only actual opportunity that tie game, right?
The second half. Second half.
That point, yeah. Up to that point,
yeah. So he scored the PK. Jonah gets subbed off pretty much like on the restart of that, right? Like a couple minutes after that.
Before we move, because of Massa, and just to shout out Chris on the chat, and I quote what he said here in the chat. He says, "It was such a good feeling that when Miami scores, it was like whatever, to be honest." End quote. So,
maybe because I felt that way.
I think right, and I share the sentiment. Massa's proof. Rudy, you're obviously saying the same thing. I don't think we were. The PK was called. Yes, we were pissed. We're getting fucked, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But even when they scored, like, I wasn't like, oh, here we go again type of shit. Like, I didn't feel it that way.
Yep. No, I hear you. On the PK, Mr. Cheeky's 2000 says, I honestly thought Bond was going to stuff that. Yeah, I was hoping for that too. But I'm not upset that he didn't. It's a penalty. You know what I mean? Like, it's 50-50. I was hoping for that. You know what I mean?
I told Angel this was going to miss this shit. Watch, you're going to sky this motherfucker. I told Angel this shit.
Yeah. I was like, can you imagine, like, so Chicha scores his goal and Bond's first official game is he gets a block. Sería el colmo, it's
too much.
Listen,
what is this, Hollywood?
No, Chicha scored a goal. I thought Bond was gonna block that penalty straight up. Like I didn't even think he was gonna miss it. I thought Bond was gonna block it. But okay, whatever. Getting it off course here. Like he didn't block it. I'm not upset about it. It's a penalty. You can't be upset about that. 2-1. Carlissa says they didn't put their heads down like in previous years. That part, right? Because so let's moving on. Jonah gets subbed off.
Right after they score that pen, and we haven't talked about it, Villafania. They show Villafania after they score the goal? Who scored it? Higuain, right after they score the goal, and they're celebrating. Then they go to Galaxy players and they focus on Villafania. Villafania's going like this, like,
he's in the
he's giving this reaction, and obviously he's the one that's pissed because they call it PK on him.
Bullshit.
So rather than being like,
oh shit,
it's like, no, like fuck that, let's go, let's go, con huevos, and you see it like in his reaction, you feel the passion, like. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, and maybe that's why I also didn't feel it because I saw the players. I was bullshit. Like
they were there for there.
Let's go.
I mean, again, I promise you, as the season goes along, I'll stop fucking quoting us from 2020. I'll start referencing the team for 2020. But first game, how many times did we see this in 2020 when we had a good run of play and then we get the goal scored and the team is just kind of like, again, right? Like it wasn't that this time. And from that, I mean, that Chicha scoring, like. It was just all good feeling that I wasn't really pressed about them scoring that bullshit PK, right? Okay, let me try to move on this time for real. 70th minute, we get Jonah coming out and Sasha coming in, which I thought was interesting because I finally thought I saw Jonah getting in the game the way I want to get him in the game, right? Like I seen him looking to be an option for everybody, looking to be involved in every touch, which was what I want to see from Jonah. And he gets up off early. Reasoning for that, I don't know. Obviously, because of the result, I'm not mad at it, but it's interesting, right?
It's crazy you say that because I was telling Angel, at that time we had two strikers, right? Zubak and
Chicha.
And when Sasha comes in and Jonah comes out, I'm like, man, I don't know if this is a 4-4-2 because there's no way we're running Vasquez or Harvey and
Sasha
in the middle. Like we're gonna get burnt. Right, and then and I was telling Angel, something has. I don't know what fucking formation we went to, because I really don't like. I don't know how to set it up. But it was like we let Vasquez go wide and Zubak took in at I don't know what the fuck happened, but I mean that shit worked.
I'll tell you what happened, dog. LA Galaxy became Bruce Lee. And they're like, be water, be fluid. You know what I mean? They just, I don't think you can fucking put it on paper what formation they were playing. Because I had the same feeling. But that's a good thing though. You see how fluid they are? You see like they don't have to, a right mid or right wing or whatever you want to call it, on paper, it doesn't have to be a right mid or right wing on the field. And that's really fucking dope to me. Right? And it's not like they're out of position or out of shape defensively by doing that. But attacking wise, I think there's a movement there.
A lot of credit goes to Harvey, dog, because
he was the anchor point.
He gave everyone freedom to move, right? And even in transition, like I remember, I think it was the play right before the second goal where Pizarro was about to take off, and this fool just fucking lets him have it, dog. Like fuck you, bro, you ain't going nowhere. Boom, drops him right there in their third. And that was it. That was the end of that counter, bro. Like. Yeah, I'm not gonna catch you, but I'm dropping your ass right here. Tactical fouls,
It's so much credit to the players for the fight and for what they end up doing in the field, but also, man, like Vanny's fucking on some other shit, dog. Because the guys in the field, right? Especially if we look at who we ended with on the field, are a lot of the guys who were on the team last year, right? Take away your right back and your left back. But in the midfield, like Vasquez, the interception, like Harvey was there, Sasha was there, Leggett was there, Zubak was there, Dumbo when he eventually came in was there, Chicha was there. Like, you know what I mean? The attacking field is the same team that we had last year, right? It's just the mentality and what they want to do is different this year, which is really impressive. But I'm sorry, John, I'm pretty sure you have thoughts, but let's keep this trucking. So 70th minute, Sasha comes in. And the team again, be water, right? They're kind of moving. There's just a movement going on now, and I'm not confident, but I'm thinking like, hey, we're gonna get one more shot at this. There's gonna be one more opportunity. Whoever falls on it, just score it. Let's get out of here with 2-2. Let's just take it, right? Vasquez gets the ball out wide, right? And this is what I'm saying, be water because he's out wide. And he does what I called out in the first half, right? Where he puts in an early cross. Zubak, big again.
Good run.
For what it's worth. Like, it's a good run. It's a good challenge because he takes the goalie out of it because he challenges for that header. The goalie can't come out and pick it up, right? Zubak's for what he's worth, like he's a lanky big motherfucker. So the keeper knows that if he's gonna come up and challenge him, like it's not an easy challenge, right? Like, it's hard. So like, he's kind of like in no man's land. He does enough to kind of get the first block, but sets it up for a Chicha goal, like for another Chicha goal, right? The other spectrum of Chicha goal.
Bro, I want to say something that the MLS pundits, specifically the ones in Extra Time Radio, because they said that he scored a Wondolowski-like goal.
Oh, fuck that.
They clearly don't know shit about soccer because Chicharito has been doing this way before Wondolowski became a thing. Maybe about the same time, I don't know, because Wondolowski's been playing a while for sure. But there is no way in hell you're calling that a Wondolowski goal. That is a Chicharito goal. Like, he starts it with his butt, with his face, whatever. That's
ugly.
A Chicharito goal, not a fucking Wondolowski goal. Fuck out of here. Wondolowski flies that shit. He did it again this past weekend.
Yeah. Listen,
fuck those guys over at Extra Time Radio.
Listen, we this game, we got the full spectrum of Chicharito, right? We got a real nice goal with the first one. And then just a clean up, like sliding and just get it in goal for the second one. And I'm okay with that. Like,
credit to Cheech on that, because I watched a replay again. I think later that night or this morning for the second goal. And that ball was almost out, bro. Like, it was about to pass the post, and he just went, "Fuck it, I'm going all in on this." Like not that it. I don't even want to go there. It just big ups to Cheech for getting there, right?
Yeah.
Even though, I mean that's what he does, dog.
No,
like,
I don't want to give no excuses for that. I don't want to give no excuses for that goal or how he should have done it better, because I want him to do that goal 6-7 times and give me like 8 dope goals.
I think we've said that every time. Like, I don't care how he scores, as long as he scores.
Yeah,
it could be ugly as fuck. It could be pretty as fuck. It could be all tap-ins. Like, I don't care. Score those goals.
That's also what Vanny said, right? And remember, I think when at my first pod back, from my hiatus, I asked you guys, I asked you guys, what has Vanny said about Chicharito's game? Because I was curious, like, you can't play Chicharito in that formation where he's the lone striker. And listen, so far it's been evident in the preseason and in the first 45 minutes, right? You change it up where he has a partner, right? So this is showing what happens. Zubak, and I get that we may have changed the formation slightly, but clearly Zubak was still operating in some form, whether it was a false 9 or just tucked in for that one. I don't know. Like Masa, we don't know what the formation was. He was there to support Chicharito's efforts, right?
Be water.
Right, exactly. Be water. That decoy run. I don't even say it was a decoy run. I just think he missed the header, or he didn't reach it, or whatever it is. Like, I think
if Zubak would have gotten there an inch higher, he scored.
Yeah. Listen, I'm so glad he didn't. Though. I'm be honest with you, like, you know what I mean. Like, I'm so glad he didn't. I'm hater shit or whatever, though. But I'm so glad he didn't, though.
And I bring that up because, listen, it was only like 45 minutes. No, it was like what? At that point, it was only like 15 minutes of that type of game where we had two forwards.
Yeah, it's closer to maybe like it was like 75th minute. So it was like 30 minutes of that, from my opinion, like the second half.
In like 20-30 minutes of gameplay, right? That's all it took for Chicharito to get 2 of his type of chances, because he had a partner. We'll be talking about maybe moving to that at that point. I don't know. We'll talk about it. The other thing, though, when it comes to crosses, what did I say even last year when we were talking about crosses and how we do crosses? What did I say about Zubak and on his cross? It was a low driven cross, right? It was different. It wasn't always just you're very out wide and just doing a lateral ball, right? Just boom, just lobbing it, whatever. See what happens. Where did Vasquez's goal come from? I mean, his assist come from?
From like 2/3 up the field.
Yeah, but it wasn't
wide
from the side where you could keep for the angles to come out for the ball. Something.
It was early.
Dangerous spot. Right. He's giving that cross into the penalty box area where the keeper, you know what? Fuck everything else. The keeper can even second guess himself. If the ball bounces in the ground, he second guess himself, the ball goes in. It's the element. Both of our goals that came off of crosses, there were two different types of crosses. And that's something I've said for the longest. If you're gonna get crosses in the game, don't do the same fucking shit all the time.
Well,
even water changes because you can have rippled water, you can have flat water, you can have waves. It's all types of water, salt water. Change it up. Change up your water. You know.
You know what both of them have in common? That is not the expected cross, right? It's not what you as a defense what you're ready for, right? Like the first one is driven and gives the Chicharito a chance to move and find that space. The second one is early in the top of the 6-yard box where it's like super complicated for keeper, for the defense, because now they're running into the goalie's area. It just makes things complicated. It's a different look, man. It's something that we again, I think we started doing it a little bit on the first half after the water break, and it paid dividends at the end with the chance that it created for Chicharito to score that cleanup goal. Again, man, like all good. It's all good from that. All right, so let's wrap this game up so we can talk a little bit about more general stuff. So 2-2. A few minutes later, Vasquez comes out again. Vasquez is gonna be so clutch for us. I hope he stays healthy the whole season because my God, that guy could fucking play. I mean, he's so smart. Like he doesn't have to fucking move fast. He's smart. He knows how to touch the ball. He knows when to release it. I like him a lot, man. But he comes out. In comes Subak. Oh, sorry. In comes Subak. Subak already in. Subak saw Dobby came in twice. No, I'm kidding. Out comes Vasquez. In comes Dunbar. And I get it. At this point, I get it. Right? Because at this point, I think it's pretty obvious Miami are pretty gassed.
Yep.
Right? And Dunbar has the one thing that I don't think anybody in that field at that moment has. And that's the motherfucking pace. Right? The ability to get behind people only on fucking pace. So I that one made sense to me real quick. And again, it maybe not directly from Dunbar, but couple minutes later, like what happens, bro? Like Fisher, who we talked about. Fisher, who we talked about earlier.
Over the top, just perfect interception, lays right in front of himself and takes off down to not the end line, but
to a good position. Right?
Yeah, and he looking for Cheech for the hat trick, right?
Yep.
Perfect ball for Cheech. The defender, props to the defender. He hits that shit back. And then I seen Leggett running backwards. I'm like, damn, dog. Like, I wish Leggett would have gotten a shot off, but obviously the angle wasn't there. And then the little touch for Kletchton, bro. And shout out to Sasha, bro. On the first time on the weak foot, the bend he put on that fucking ball.
That fucking bend,
Jesus
bro.
Christ, bro.
All right, you guys asked me to come back a couple times. I want to come back to everything you said myself. Fisher's pass, looking for Cheech, which I think it should be like our first option. So I'm not mad at that at all. But I want to talk about what Leggett does, right? Because Leggett, I'm sure wants to score goals, though. But he knew, like, he was able to recognize pretty quickly that was a better option than for him trying to set himself up for a shot, right? On top of that, like, he had a decision to make because Dunbar was also coming in, and I think he was looking for the first-time shot. He just kind of wanted Leggett to move. But then he has Sasha just kind of sitting on top of the key, right? And listen, it's simple layoff. And a stupid finish from fucking Sasha, man. Hey, man, no effort. There's no fucking effort. You know what I mean? You know when we're getting warmed up and we kind of just pass the ball around, you put a little English to it, right? But you're just fucking around. That's how you shot it. Like, it wasn't this rocket to the fucking first pole wasn't bent. It was just like all placement. And my God, like I never like. Did you guys see the defense? Did you see the goalie? Everybody just kind of stood there. Anna didn't recognize it was a goal. She's like, what happened? Did it go out? Because nobody fucking moved. Everybody just kind of stuck. And I'm like, and I start bugging out, right? I'm like, oh, fuck. I mean, it's 3-2 at this point. Like, I was cool with a 2-2. Let's walk away.
Listen, I understand that you and Masa have eye problems, hence the glasses. Not this eye, baby. 2020 eye. I'm like a falcon. Like a falcon. I saw the entire trajectory. I'm like, in money. Nah, you're right. it really was weird. Like, at least from the angle where we saw it, but
yeah,
bro, that bend, I still can't get over that bend.
Yeah, especially from
really can't because
the angle from
left
the back.
foot, yeah,
Man, it looks so good, dude. Jesus.
it's the right spots, you know.
Okay. So 3-2, right?
Plus 15 to this girls.
3-2.
I get it.
We're up. We're away. You got to close this game out, right?
Yeah.
We just got to close this game out. What the boys do?
Close the game out.
They closed that motherfucking game out. I mean, I know it was maybe like in the 85th minute, still like 5 minutes to go. There was like a 3-minute period where we just kind of held it in the corner, and it was like throwing after throwing after throwing after throwing.
Sure, this is the experience. This is the experience. A lot of out of those 3-4 minutes that we had Miami in that corner wasting time, I think more than half was Fisher's doing. Not only was he holding it up, but I think that once or twice he was smart. Oh, twice actually. So one of those, he realized like, hey, this is gonna go out. It's gonna be red ball. What do? Reacts quick, hits it off of the Miami player. Ball again. Another one, I don't recall exactly how it went down, but it bounced in such a weird way that it was gonna come and touch him, and all he did was just really quick instinct, pulled his leg out of the way, out of bounds, still our ball. It's stupid. Like these are not things that you don't talk about in stats, right? This is not gonna come up in the stats. All this shit not come up. They'll talk about the defense had 100% passing. Well, yeah, no shit. They're passing between each other, of course, right? It's this, like, these are the stats. Fuck, you don't get credit for it. Like, this is where you got to watch the game in eyeball. Experience from fucking Fisher, and I don't know if it's that has swayed it for me in terms like, yo, right now the scale is on Fisher's favor as opposed to Araujo. People want to have their argument, that's fine. But that's the experience that we need right now, like at least for Greg Vanney to start instilling some, I guess, a sense of, because they're all new guys, right? But a sense of how do I say that? I guess a confidence for everyone on each other that understands like, hey, we are experienced players. We know what we're doing. Like, we're not. Obviously, there's a few that obviously you can't, right? Like Saldana is understandable, Dunbar is understandable. The guys like Villafana, like O'Neal Fisher, that you went out and you got because of that experience, that MLS caliber experience, that MLS Champions experience, that Liga MX Champions experience, is because of situations like that.
What?
A lot of coaches don't teach that shit. How do you waste time? You don't waste time defending and sitting back. You waste time that way on their half. Look, even Dunbar, Masa, what I tell you about Dunbar, he had another opportunity towards the end of the game where instead of cutting diagonally into the goal, what does he do? He runs towards the corner.
So listen, so that's why I wanted to bring out more than experience is the mentality they have, right? Again, listen, how many times have we seen the Galaxy try to hold possession while having the lead to kill the game off, lose it, get a goal scored, and then we end up drawing or losing the game, right? What you said though, like when you lose it near the corner, your defense should have way more than enough time to fucking recover, right? Chris says Miami still has some chances. Yeah, but none of them were like we were out of position, right? Like they had to do more.
They only had one chance. It was a really good chance. The Federico Higuaín, the one that
he missed it.
Missed it. Absolutely. One chance though. One chance. It's gonna happen.
Where was the defense?
Good players.
Where was the defense?
They were all there. Yeah.
And position.
They were set. Yeah, they were
like
set.
Listen.
That would have been a banger. Yeah.
Exactly, right? Like, so that's what I meant. Like the mentality the players have. Game one of the fucking season, right? So we're talking about we have improvement here. Like there's ways to go here, and I'm convinced. After game one. All right, we close it out.
Oh, you want to talk about the chance Dunbar had before we close out?
Oh yeah, go for it.
They put him through, and he just outpaces both defenders. And he takes a shot, but he had already he had the pressure of the defenders on him, but he managed to get a shot off. Yo, big props to Dunbar, dog. Like, oh man, I was hoping he had scored that, bro. Like, that would have made me so happy.
No, this too much. This too much. I would have. I can't handle that, dog. Dunbar scoring too. Like, I would have got bit in my face for real that time. I can't handle that. So I'm okay. I'm okay with him not scoring. The find he makes. The find
to get in between both defenders. Who put him through?
Sasha.
I don't remember.
Sasha put him through on a dime, bro. On a dime with space to run into it. Like and he uses speed. Unfortunately, you get the shot. You didn't get the goal. But like, man, like I'm okay with that play. Give that kid that play 3 times, scoring at least one of them. I'll tell you that much. Give the guy the same play, scoring at least one of the 3. I'm happy with it, man. 3-2 victory on the road. First game of the season. Chicharito's on the scoreboard. Bond has a good performance. Defense has a good performance. The team look well. Vanny gets his fucking first win. Fuck, that's a lot in one game. I know. Listen, I'm probably definitely overhyping this, but that's just who I am. Boys, settle me down. Talk to me like overview about what this game means for the season, and what do you guys think of the team now that we've seen them in competitive play and earning points?
To me, it comes down to coaching, to making changes when something's not there. That's a big positive for me this season. If you count one way, Vanny's not scared to switch it up. It didn't work with the single striker this game. I'm not saying he's gonna differ from that for the rest of the season. I'm pretty sure we're gonna run same formation we ran to start Miami against Red Bulls or whatever. But if he has to change it and go double striker, if he has to change it to drop more help in the middle and take out the wide players, then he's gonna do that. And to me, that's nothing but positive from the coaching staff. So I'm kind of pumped about this shit, to be honest. And we're still missing players. We're still missing key players that aren't playing right now, that aren't here yet. So
or just not that are there right now that maybe are not fully 90-minute ready yet,
Yeah.
Or haven't really been gotten cohesive with the rest of the team. Like I think Grant Sear is the biggest example, right? Where it's clear that he's still not, he still doesn't have the green FIFA lines with the rest of his teammates. He's not there yet. He's like orange or whatever the middle one is, right? He's not there yet. He still needs time. It's clearly so he can understand what his players are doing with the moves that they're making. Yeah, right. It's time for sure. There's going to be time. I'm sure the same issue with Cabral when he comes. What else was going to happen with Williams when he comes? But that's from a defensive perspective. That's a different conversation.
Yeah. I said it just a few minutes ago that this is game 1, right? And I'm convinced of what they're trying to do. I am really convinced by what the game plan, like what the Galaxy looks like, or the ideal situation where the Galaxy looks like, 3-4 months down the line. Man, like I don't see a way we're not competitive by what we showed. I get it. It's Miami. They haven't played preseason. I know they had some fitness issues or whatever, but the intent there, right? Listen, I'll tell you one thing, right? When a few weeks down the line, when we start seeing where the team's really at, because I think there's some results that happen this weekend that might not be telling the whole story, but once we get a realization of like who's really the top, who's really the bottom of the table, or whatever, and we come up against those bottom of the league tables, I'm going to be confident saying we'll get a result from this, right? Whether it's we're running high or low, like we'll get a result from this because there's a game plan, there's an understanding, and there's a commitment to what we're trying to do. Something that we haven't had, and therefore we lose a lot of the games that we were supposed to win, or there should have been cakewalks, but because we didn't have the cohesiveness, didn't have that idea in our heads, didn't have like the plan of execution that these guys have, failed to get these results. I don't think we'll see that this season.
Confidence Greg Vanny can have on his bench right now.
Oh my God, man!
Starting 11 didn't win this game. It was the changes. It was a tactical changes on the field, not just with shape, also the personnel.
Mm-hmm.
You have Ethan Zubak coming in and actually being impactful in the game. Ethan Zubak, that's probably the weakest link next to fucking Efrain Alvarez. Oh, what? Again, we're still missing 2 players, right? That are key players that we expect to be starters. That means you still have an additional 2 pieces that are potentially going to be in your bench, right? That you can use down the line. Rotation. You can do things like if we were talking about, when we play against the lower seeded teams, right? When the time comes, if this game is indicative of what our future is going to be, then let's just say everything in season. Well, I mean, in week 1 is indicative of where everything's going to be, right? Maybe down the line we play. I don't know. When they lost Portland, let's say Portland is trash this season, right? Lost to Vancouver. I don't think so, but just for the sake of conversation.
Yeah. Go for it. Yeah.
You don't have to risk playing your starting 11 that game. You can say, hey, you know what? I have confidence in Aldana. I have confidence in Kariniak. I have confidence in Dunbar. I have confidence in Depew and Jalen Neal. I have confidence in Acosta and Fisher. If we're talking about it, right? I have confidence in Clinton. You have confidence in the backups right now.
Yeah.
And so, some of these, are we talking about? Are they even backups right now?
Well,
You
know
make
what?
a case for a lot of these guys. You know.
You know what's even more so that because I think we always rated like Corona, we rated him as a good center midfielder, right? And we always have players like this that we rate them high enough, but when they come in, they don't really have a purpose. I think that's the biggest change right now, right? Because when Dumber came in because we needed some pace. When Harvey came in, we brought in Harvey because we needed somebody to be an anchor and kind of like allow Chicha or whoever's playing around him to have more freedom to move around, right? Like, and they serve those purposes, right? Like Subek again, they probably came in because he's relentless when it comes to like pursuing the ball, right? Like or whatever it is. But there's an idea there's an idea for the substitution, not just personnel for personnel. Like there's a change because it's going to happen technically, and you serve this purpose more. And I think that's big because I think the depth, we probably had some depth before, but I think this time we have depth that's very usable in scenarios, which we exploited that this game around. Listen here. I knew this episode was probably going to be with a lot of optimism. I think this episode was going to be with a lot of joy and because I mean, listen, the game called for that, right? But let's take a step back and let's try to come back down to earth, put our feet on the ground, and talk to me about what do we need to improve for this next game and just further down in the season.
I don't know if it's a whole lot of hype or whatever, because I don't think Miami's a bad team. I think Miami has players. I think that they're probably better than a lot of teams that we're going to play often in the Western Conference. I don't know if it's because it's the first game that's hype.
Listen, when it comes to Miami, but when it comes to Miami, like, it's the same thing we saw last year, though, right? At least this game was the same thing we saw last year, where they have some movement, they have some dope players, they have some dope plays, but can't finish off the game, right? Like that was their thing last year because we saw them like the games that I caught, and it wasn't many. Like I'm not following them everywhere, but like you know what I mean, like, but a lot of the games last year was like where they don't look bad. Right. In fact, I even saw a couple games where I thought they were going to win the game, kind of left and came back, and they had lost by like 2 or something like that. So, like, I don't know. I don't know about Miami. Like, my opinion, I don't know about Miami. I don't rate them as high. I think they're good. I don't think they're going to be a good team, though. But yeah, so go on. Sorry. Yeah, sorry. Give me improvements for the game versus Red Bull and on. Just what do you think where we need to improve some? Just so we can give it a little. Go for it.
I'll go first. For me, is maybe not start so slow. And I don't know if that was Miami coming in hot or whatever. Maybe more of that intent after the first 30 minutes going forward, because that first half, it's night and day to the second half. Right? Mm-hmm. So I think not starting so slow, be a little faster, like keep possession, but be a little faster when we're attacking. And that's basically it, bro. I feel like defensively we were solid. Shape wise we were solid. We kind of got caught in transition a couple times.
No, we got transition a lot.
But
at least not first.
But I think our defense did well enough to recover for that. So just that. I think going forward, just be a little more quick with the decision that we're gonna make, because the runs are getting made. I can't knock Cheech for not making those runs.
Yep.
Just gotta find them.
I agree with you. I guess for me, the two things I want to see improvement on is the pace in which we're passing the ball when we're trying to attack, when we're trying to set up some stuff, when we're in transition. I want to see the ball get touched for one time, touching it and move up and get into positions, right? And that kind of leads into my second point, where I want to find my wingers in space and not to the. Well, can I finish and then you can say whatever you want?
Oh.
Yeah. So like I want to see one touch football when it comes to transition, and I want to see them finding our wingers or maybe not wingers, right? Because we don't necessarily say wingers the way we shape up sometimes, but like whoever's playing wider, find them in space so they can attack that, right? Because when we find our wingers to find them when they're already being marked by somebody, it kind of kills all momentum. So I wanted to find them in space so they can run, especially Granzier, man. I think Granzier, when we find him in space, he'll show us more. He'll show us more because he looks like he could drop a shoulder and move. So I want to see that. That's my point. Angel?
I'm going to make an effort to watch Red Bulls' game. I couldn't, in pieces, because Nathan's birthday and stuff. I didn't really get to catch the game. But there's one thing I am gonna say, and this is I don't know, I'm starting to lean like full on Rudy right now, but I am not concerned for the home opener. Not because a lot of what Miami and what I said earlier in the pod about Miami is, they were the home team, their first game, they had momentum. I think it was the first game of the crowd, like all these things, right? Listen, we're in the same boat now. This is the roles reversed. Now this is our home opener. We're gonna have crowd finally after so many years. I know it's limited capacity, but the script is turned now. It's in our favor. We saw what we can do in the second half in the 45 minutes. Add that energy of your home crowd. Add all those elements. I'm not concerned. Even with Jonathan, for example. I know I said I'm concerned for the long haul, whatever. Yes, but I don't know if I'm concerned about this specific game coming up on Saturday because everyone's emotions are gonna be high. Like, each is gonna want to score. All the players are gonna want to they're gonna all play. I think even at a higher, more intense level than we just saw on Saturday.
Yep, 100%.
I don't know if this is me being too rude, but this is how I take it because I would if it's my home opener. I'm a nobody. For regular fucking weekday games that we play, I get excited for the first game of regular season.
Yeah,
these guys after not playing at home for so long and the new kid, if they get to the new kid, like everything around it's set up for them to succeed. There is no reason that we should be letting Red Bulls come into our house right now with the momentum that they're riding and let them dictate the game.
So
I just don't see it happening.
I saw a bit of the Red Bull game, and I'll tell you this much, right? We look a better side. Just in general, we look a better side, right? I know you mentioned the second prove what we could do in the second half. I'll argue that like the first half, it wasn't exciting. We lacked a little bit of creativity and pace, but it wasn't a bad half either. Like the goal came in, a bad giveaway, a potential offside, whatever you want to call it. But I don't think it was like, like fuck, everything's over. So like again, you come away 3-2 result away first game. I'll fucks with it. I think you're right. I think they're definitely up for the first game home, right? Listen, they did it over there. They showed they could do it. They want to prove it to us at home, right? We're going to be there. We're going to be supporting. We're going to be doing the whole nine. I'm sure they want to do it. So I'm excited for that too. A few things we're going to get out here. I got some questions I want to ask from the Discord. But before we do that, Carlisa just brought up something really dope. Did you guys get a chance to see the interview he did with
Yeah. Angel was about to change it, dog. I had to check this fool. Like, commercials. He was going to put the Columbus game. And I was like, yo, chill. Wait, there's gonna be something after
they have to check me. He's like, yo, they're probably gonna do a post game interview. Like, oh yeah, you're right. Like, I didn't even think about it because it's ABC. Like, I didn't know how ABC was gonna operate. Like ESPN, that's fine.
Well, it's an ESPN broadcast.
But I didn't know if it was gonna stay there. Like, all right, so we just left it on there. And,
Can I say like that was dope? It was real. It was real. You know what I mean? It was it was real, and for the, like, listen, throughout the preseason, it's been a lot of skepticism because it's like, cool, if we're talking all this, like, do it in the field though, right? Like, straight up, like, I mean, like I get it, do it in the field though, right? And he did it in the field, and he came out and everything he touched on was like fuck, like yeah, like what I mean, like you're human and you got you there's some shit there. And you're breaking through it, and it's fucking dope to see. Like, just on a personal level, like on a human being level, I loved everything about that interview, bro. Like, I mean, like, that's a real, again, it's super early for a season, but like, just that feeling, like, he almost transmitted the feeling by the way he was saying it, his facial expressions, like, the feeling that he gave was super dope to me. Yeah, just wanted to bring that up for a second. Maybe you guys have any thoughts on that? No.
I think you're spot on. I mean, it was reminiscent a little bit of the scene from Independence Day, when they're about to go fight the aliens and shit, That's how, like, it was deep. It was deep. Like, it hits like, yeah, Mr. President, I do want to go kill these aliens. I do. I do want to, I do want you to score these bangers. Like, no, I just want you to score these goals. Yeah. Right,
Yeah.
Only only in SFTS would you find Chicha's interview being compared to Independence Day and Let's Kill Some Fucking Aliens, Mr. President. I like it. I like it. Be water. We're flowing with it. I like it.
That
Nah, I fuck with John. You're right though. Like, it's dope. I'm sure it builds the boys up.
Another level, bro.
Yep.
Yeah,
All right.
I'm just happy for that fool, dog. To be honest,
Mm-hmm.
you know, prove me wrong, talk all my shit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind being wrong for this. If you want to call me a hypocrite for celebrating Chicharito's goal, I can't be a hypocrite, dog. I'm a Galaxy fan first. You know what I'm saying? Like, for my team to succeed, Chicha needs to succeed. So I'm happy that he's scoring goals because that's what they pay him to do. And for him to outside the soccer shit, like it was a tough year. Like this year is his redemption year, and I'm fingers crossed, golden boot, all that shit, MVP, throw it out in the universe. I'm here for it, right? Last year he was irrelevant. Don't come at me with that shit.
No, man.
I'm happy now. I'm happy now. I want him to score as many goals as possible. Like I want people to understand this, right? Like I don't want him to do bad ever because he's on my fucking team.
Yeah,
that doesn't make any sense to me.
Listen, I told you like from the first episodes of this new season, right? Like when we started episode 1 of season 4, like your frustration, your hate, your anger towards him, it was justified, right? You know, some words are stronger than others, right? Like I don't know what to say, but it was justified.
Just had to to support your claims here and to say you don't look terrible here, and with your apology.
I'm not apologizing. I'm just saying, like I know, I'm not apologizing. I'm just saying, like
Independence Day. All right, we're fighting. I can't remember which broadcast or where I saw it, or if it was on Extra Time Rate or where. Like I so much gas content as of late, right? Very less content in general. But somewhere it might have been ESPN on the same. Might have been the same. What was it? I don't even remember. Point is, I saw it somewhere. This is not my information. Prior to this season, his last 4 seasons, 8, 4, and 2.
Oh, yeah.
8. So 8, 4, 2. Chicharito's last 4 seasons, he doesn't even hit 10 goals in any of his last 4 seasons. So everyone's frustration is justified. There is nothing wrong about it. Even question bringing him, especially when you understand his game, the way he plays, there's nothing that was wrong about what was said. As a matter of fact, we even said it last game. We mentioned it today. Why was he successful? Why did it work? Because the formation changed. And I think Rudy, you alluded to it, or maybe Masa was like, we don't know if this is going to be the same thing moving forward. If Vanny's going to continue doing this on a weekly basis, but it obviously worked for him. And it doesn't have to be a 4-4-2 formation. It's having someone alongside him to help, whether it's decoy or whatever it is. Probably gonna need some help down the line.
All right, boys.
Not every single game, but for sure at some point.
We're in the 2-hour trajectory. We're in 2-hour mark again, so I'm gonna try to move it up so we can wrap it up pretty quick. I'll say this though, right? Like I think these questions about formation and the movement, all that. I think as the weeks progress and we get to talk about it week in, week out, like we'll start noticing more of it. But yeah, there's still questions. But I think in a good sense of it, right? Like the questions that we want answers for are gonna be good either way we see it, right? So I'm pretty happy where we're at. Let's go with some questions over from Discord. Remember, you can join us at Discord on SFTS96 or discord.sfts96.com. So you can hop in and give us some questions. Let's start with Glenn with 2 N's. He says, he actually puts a quote up by Vanny on why he played Subak. Vanny says, I played him as a striker. The thing about Ethan is not so much about his position play, it's about his willingness to run. And whether it's from a wide position or it's from a central position, it gives us that consistent willingness to run behind and stretch opposition. He follows that by asking the questions. He says, how do we feel about Greg Vanny's comments regarding Subak? He's the coach, obviously, and he sees things in training that we don't. Is this really what Subak has been trying to do and we couldn't see it?
We've always seen this. Yeah, this is not new. It's just Vanny. When Vanny came in, he said, I'm gonna work with what I have, add pieces, obviously, but I'm gonna bring in what these players have currently. I'm gonna bring out the best of what they can do. And for Subak, that means run like hell and create chaos or create space for someone else.
Create chaos.
Then that's what he's gonna do, right? So I mean, this is nothing new. last year I gave Zubak credit. Like, yo, my man runs like crazy. You know, he hustles for every ball, 110%. That's not the issue. His issue is something else. So I don't want to go into it. We talk about it all the time. Yeah. But this is nothing new. This is obviously Vanny sees what everyone else sees.
I guess the real question now, right? And Angel, I'll toss this up to you. Maybe you could give his thought on this. Is like, who do you convince with more skill to be as willing as Subak is to run after these balls and stretch the defense as Vanny was saying? Like, who's that player you think with more skill that comes in and does that for Vanny?
Cabral. Cabral. Can he also play as a forward?
Yeah.
I don't see why not if it's working. Right? Yep. Obviously, no, it's easy. Bro, that's the answer. I mean, Zubak, because we didn't have Cabral, Zubak essentially did what Cabral was doing, just not at the level that Cabral is supposed to do.
Yeah. Now, again, listen, if I'm answering that question I tossed over to you, I'll answer the same way, right? Now it's just really Vanny convincing Cabral to run like crazy or like 90 minutes, 80 minutes, whatever you give us, right? Like just constant running. Because I think that's the one thing, the only upside to Subak, in my opinion, is that, right? Is that if he's in the field, he's going to be running like a motherfucker. You know what I mean? Just... you know what I mean? Like he's gonna be running on the field. Like that's the one big upside for Subak. So it convinced Cabral to do that and money. Right. All right, moving on. Let's see. Where we at? Damn. Angel, why are you talking on the questions thread for? All right. So here we go. Hello Kitty. CSAN07 says, was something going on with VAR at the stadium? The ref never went to look at it during any calls. I think the answer to this is like in his ear, they just told him it was clear. It wasn't clear and obvious mistake. So he didn't have to go look for it, right?
I believe so, because at the end of the day, it's the clear and obvious decision, right? I think Twellman's the one that actually mentioned it on the broadcast, right? That if the penalty wouldn't have been called, wouldn't have been called, it's also not clear and obvious that it was a penalty, right? Or that it wasn't based on the letter of the law or whatever. Even that potentially couldn't have been reviewed, or maybe wouldn't have been reviewed. Should it not have been a penalty, right? I'm guessing the same concept. Now, obviously, just different types of plays, right? And different type of things being reviewed. But maybe that, because it's not clear and obvious. Obviously, we're not the Prem. We don't have those lines, that extra technology. Okay like I mentioned to Osman, unless we're going to invest in that, it has to be clear and obvious, right? So
yeah,
the angles are shit. Honestly, that's why I said, like, I went and I saw it again after Rudy, you posted the grid thing. I saw another one, like, oh shit, like I don't even know. I don't know what to say anymore, because maybe Rudy, you are right. Maybe your grid picture is correct, or maybe yours is wrong because of the angles of the angle, the angles of the camera. Like, I don't know. I really don't.
Man. Listen, this is in my opinion, this is one we just gotta live with, right? Because we want it, like if his shoes in the opposite side, like we want him to give us that goal, right? If Chicha is like, his neck is sticking out and he's ahead by that margin, it's not clear and obvious, I want him to give the goal to Chicharito, or for anybody else who's running that, right? So like again, let's live with that one, because I'm okay with that call personally, actually.
I think that's what it is, Chris. Like just the lack of angles, and they don't really have anything to go off of other than what they already had.
All right, Chris, what another question says, what sub would you make at the starting 11 once all players available? I'm gonna take this, and you guys can follow up. For me, it's almost a wait and see, right? Like how fast can Cabral get up to speed? If he gets here, he's up to speed, and he could do what Vanny wants to do, throw him in. Same thing goes with the only person I want to see in as soon as possible is Derek Williams. For me, like that's the one big sub that needs to happen pretty soon. Like that one, and then everything else is just wait and see, kind of see.
But then who does Derek Williams go with right now, based on what we saw?
Steris.
I don't know if I agree there.
Yeah, it's fine. We can have different opinion there, but there was a couple of things, especially the one where he kind of realized what's going on and calls Depew. That was very big for me. That was very big for me.
Derek Williams is supposed to be doing the same thing, right? So you're gonna have two guys doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And with only one guy being the committed one, because Steris is not gonna do what fucking Depew is doing.
Yeah, listen again. I told you I'm okay with it not doing what DP was doing. Right, that gets me nervous. I don't like it. Like when it needs to be done, I'll do it. But you know what I mean. Like he cut. That's his resource, and I kind of don't want that. Your thoughts on starting 11 once we have all players?
Once we have all players, or for next week?
Once we have all players, that's the question.
All players.
All players are available.
Well, Cabral, Williams, and I would like to see Harvey in that motherfucking.
Yeah. Interesting.
To be honest, from the jump, I want to see it. I just want to see how we would do from the jump. You know.
Yeah, I think for me that's going to be at least what I want to see, or at least what I think I want to see is John Legette there. That's what I want to see in the midfield. But we'll see where we land. Again, game 1 is done. We have 33 left, so we'll get some answers to this. LA Galaxy Outsider says the Paleo chef. She says personal chef or Nibu. Listen. Keep feeding him whatever it is you're feeding him. Whatever it is you're feeding him, right? Like you keep feeding him that. Like that dietary supplement that you're giving him. Que se arte, que se arte. I don't give a fuck about whatever else goes on. Just keep feeding him whatever you're feeding him. Whatever that is. You guys have anything else to say?
No, I don't want to say anything.
No.
Okay, yeah, let's keep it at that. No. G-Man on Discord says, based on how Neil Fisher played and how Rajo flopped while playing for the U23, is that Rajo still a lock-in for the starting right back position?
Not. The answer, nope.
Yep, not a lock-in. I think it's a coin flip right now, but not a lock-in. Fisher showed his worth. And he's more than a fucking just a backup. You know, he's more than just a backup. So, Masa, you agree with that?
100%. All right, that to me right now, Fisher's the starter until taking it off the starting 11.
Yeah. Man, I'm pressed on this because for what I said earlier, right? Like I don't want to clip Julian's wings.
Dog, I love Julian,
but I also want to see.
Yeah, I love
this is just him having to work hard for a starting spot, and if he wins it again, then obviously that's a plus for him. It's a plus for the team because it means that Julian has to be at a higher level than O'Neal Fisher. I think right now they're about on par. You know, a level.
Listen, in form,
Fisher has the edge on experience, and that's it. I think they're about the same level, and if Julian wants to get that starting 11, he has to be better than what he currently is, and that's not a bad thing. I'm not saying that Julian is a bad player or he's not in form. Like he's just at the same level as Fisher, and for him to get into the 11, he has to be better. Simple,
man.
You gotta wrap it up. You gotta go pick up.
You seen that? I seen that. Yeah. Listen, for me, I think more than anything is form, right? Because Julian was away with the U23 national team, he hasn't been in camp with the team as much as Fisher has, and Fisher obviously understands what Vanny wants from him. So, and he's game ready, right? So I think those two things, like, it's really gonna edge him out on starting. For how long? I don't know, but we'll see. All right. Here's an interesting one, right? Valdo 12 on Discord says, on 2 goals, Fisher could have done a little better, even though they were controversial. On the first goal, he keeps Higuain on side. On the second, the play starts on his side and gets past too easy, and then Mayafaya commits a penalty. What do you guys think?
He did. On that same goal, yes. He got too easy, bro. That was. I'm not. Absolutely. You know what? But Rudy, I think, was this part or last part when you mentioned it? No, it was last part because I had my concerns about Villafania, where you said that every player gets beat. Every defender gets beat at some point. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Once, usually it's often you're doing it is everything else around your play because it's gonna happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're playing against professionals that are getting paid big bucks to do these things. Of course, they know how to take players one-on-one. You're not gonna win every single one of them. How often can you? It's how can you stay? How do you recover? It's all these other things around being a defender. It's not just hey, I stopped this guy from getting around me. He got beat for sure, but he also didn't get beat in a dangerous position where it was like, hey, this is the goal right here. No, I don't think anyone felt danger when he got beat. I think he got beat maybe just a little past 3/4 of the field, right? Defensively on our end. So it wasn't even like he was inside the 18. He was well outside the 18 box where we could have defended well, and I think there was enough coverage. I don't think that's on him. I mean, you could if you want to, because I think the ref really fucked it up. Like, if the goal would have led to an actual goal by itself without anything happening, I think we can probably make an argument for it. You know what? Yeah. You know what? If you're Fisher, foul him. Right? Foul him in that position. Let him get around you because right there, at the most, you get a yellow. But you're so far out the area, just foul him. Pull his shirt, whatever, bring him down. Easy.
Listen,
frankly, it didn't happen even a goal. So I don't know. The second one, the first one, no, definitely not.
I think this is nitpicking on Fisher. Yeah. Right? I think this is nitpicking on Fisher because, again, Angel talks about it, right? If he where he gets beat, it's, not in a real dangerous position, right? Like there's still defenders behind him who should be able to adjust and cover that, right? Which listen, they obviously did, right? Because that ball had to come back to the middle towards Pizarro. So like it wasn't like they attacked the wing down to the end line and then cut in and did something. Like it was, the play developed. Angel talked about it. I said it before. Like defenders get beat. Like that's soccer. Like our offense beats defense to score goals. Like that's the name of the game. Like what I mean. What you don't want to do is make it easy, and I don't think Fisher made it easy for anybody. Right? Again, that touch kind of put him out of position. But I'm not nitpicking, man. He did. Listen, what he did well outweighs the mistakes he has. Right?
Absolutely. If you want to call that a mistake, the one to like, how many one-on-ones did he have? Where people couldn't even get a fucking crossing. They couldn't even get a crossing.
He was up against Jervin Jones for quite a for a good portion. And people forget that Jervin Jones was Seattle champion. He knows what he's doing.
All right, I got two more and then we wrap this up. Danger TRL says, do we need a threat in the air? So somebody from the run and play who could attack a balls in the air. Why not, Angel? I agree with you. I think my reasoning with you is the same. So why not?
Because we showed just in this game alone that we don't have to play every single ball in the air to make Chicharito be effective. And we've talked about the addition of Cabral. We talked about Grandsir potentially becoming more involved. Not potentially, he will become more involved in the offense. And, they're all going to learn how Chicharito plays his runs. We talked about the runs, right? I think someone asked last week about, can his pace be fast enough is he fast enough for Cabral and blah, 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 right? And Grandsir. We talked about this. No, we don't need to. If we're going to be playing, we just go out wide and then just, throw a vertical cross, in the air. Sure. Yes, absolutely. But look at the two goals. Yep. And even the goal that was an aerial ball that came in, it wasn't vertical. It was in a dangerous place. Like every you to go here. You can tell me where did Vasquez put that ball? Second guessing yourself.
You have the striker. You have the striker and the defense running at you as a keeper. It's going to be hard regardless.
And the defender could fuck up, own goal, like you name it. So many things can happen, right? It's that. No, I don't think we need to be playing that right now. At least not right now. There's not. At least from when we saw this game, I don't think we do. I don't think we do.
My say you've always been a fan of a big guy that can go up for a cross. Do you think we need an aerial threat in this team right now?
No, I've been a fan of the big guy, but because they're usually aggressive. Not really because of aerial threat. I like big strikers, but I mean, you don't really need one, bro. Yeah. You don't really need one if you're playing that way, the way we played on this weekend. I mean, we could be a short ass striker, could be 5'5", it could be 6'2". If you find him on the ground like you found Cheech, and if that striker makes a run like Cheech makes, then I mean, it doesn't matter his size, does it?
100%. And listen, and we got it covered when it's a dead ball, right? Corner or a dangerous free kick. Like we have the towers come up with whether it's the Pew, whether it's people, whether it's Derek Williams, whether it's Steris, right? Sasha could get up there, like Harvey could get up there. Like we have players who could go up for that, for those positions, for like a set piece, right? For a corner, for a dangerous free kick. So personally, no, I don't think we need it, nor does he necessarily make sense for the team right now, in my opinion. All right, final one. And this will go into transition into closing the show. Jess and Gio says, will tickets be available to Galaxy 2 this season? Their home opener is Friday, and I don't see any information from the FO. Yeah, listen, I'll bug them about that again, because we want to make G2 games really pop. We have a bunch of initiatives that we want to try out, in G2 games, so we'll reach out to them. I'll tell you this much, right? Like, I'm pretty sure we'll have them this year, right? I think as months come across, we'll have it. Maybe not initially, but I'm sure we will. We'll get more information on that. If anything, check out ACB socials because we post up information when we get it. Check out the G socials if they posted anything there. And let me transition to a couple of things. Sunday home opener, right? We'll have a tailgate episode where we break down the game, but I just want to talk about like actual game day experience. If you haven't heard, if you didn't know, there is no tailgate. So the tailgate area for ACB, for Lars, and all the supporter groups is not going to be open. I am pushing the FO. I'm pushing the FO to kind of give us. I don't want to talk too much because I might ruin it, but I'm trying to set up something where it's not a tailgate, but at least we're parking close to each other, so we can kind of socially distance tailgate within our cars. I'm trying to figure this out, but as soon as we get information, we'll let you guys know. What you guys should do, though, is tomorrow at 6:30 p.m., the Galaxy are hosting a virtual town hall on YouTube, youtube.com/LAGalaxy. Check that out because even ACB and the leadership is getting some information from that because they haven't given us much. And I don't necessarily blame them just because shit is changing every fucking day and it's a brand new thing to them. So I don't even, I don't know. Maybe it's this announcement. I don't know what's going on, but tune into that because I think that will answer a lot of questions. And as always, we'll talk more about it on Thursday when we drop the tailgate. Let me put in another plug before it closes out. A lot of people who listen to us have asked us about Spanish content. My guy Kevin Baltasar and Manny got you guys covered. A new podcast called La Hora Galáctica. You can find it on Spotify and iTunes. They'll be dropping their first episode, the first real episode, talking about a game on Wednesday. So go ahead and follow them and check it out for all the Spanish speakers that want to listen to something in your own language, in your first language. There you go. I mean, I enjoyed the first pilot episode, so check them out. They should be good. The same guys that do Community, so check them out. That should be fun. Angel, Masi, you guys got anything to plug before we close it out?
No.
All right. Well, with that being said, it's another episode of Straight from the Stance. I'm Rudy, and I'm Smarts on Twitch. I'm Smarts on Twitter. I'm Smarts on the gram.
Angel, follow me, ADF2691. Where is it? Twitch, Instagram, and PSN. Yeah. Those are my only socials now. Leave me alone.
Peace, love, and G's up. Somebody go get Jeremy from the airport.
All right, peace. I got to go to the airport now. Hey, thanks for fucking with us. Hit the like button, subscribe. Peace.
Peace.